Good morning, Raptor Freak. Lexi Odds here. It's Friday morning, and I'm getting to the spot early, 9:15 for this stream this morning against the Chicago Bulls. In-season tournament game number 3. In-season tournament action happening today. There's a couple of games that matter to us. There's a 2:30 game in Orlando, the Celtics versus the Magic. That's a really fishy thing, man. That game starting at 2:30. And in some ways, the Celtics game against the Magic is going to determine whether our game against the Bulls matters towards the in-season tournament. In some ways, we're rooting for the Orlando Magic to beat the Celtics today because they need a loss in the in-season tournament for people to stay alive. So yeah, it could very well be by the time we get to our game today, there are no in-season tournament implications for us moving forward, which is probably likely. That we're not going to move forward in the in-season tournament with 2 losses already. So it's inevitable. In some ways, that shouldn't matter. There's other things that matter about this game today that should matter just as much, as far as it is a regular season game, and wins and losses matter, and it will go towards our record. And also, we've been embarrassed by the Chicago Bulls the last 2 times we met them in play-in, and in the last game we played against them at the beginning of the season, an embarrassing overtime loss. So in some ways, the Raptors, their gumption should be, yeah, sure, show up and compete because it's an in-season tournament game. But really, it's to show up to get some get back from the last 2 times that you guys played the Bulls. Yeah. In some ways, it may not even matter if we win the in-season tournament game today for in-season tournament reasons. But it may matter that we need to win it for a record. We need to win it for our own, like, how we feel about ourselves, because Chicago's not that good. Their record's way worse than ours. They were lucky to beat us the first time they played us this season, and we need to beat their ass. This is a high stakes game, and the last time we played a high stakes game against them was the play-in, and we didn't do well. So we need to exercise some of these demons from the play-in game, DeAr DeRozan game, and this overtime loss to the Bulls earlier this season in Chicago already. Yeah, they were ugly losses to that team. So we need to beat their ass. We really do. All right, let me get into the latest lineup news right away. Now, here's a break. It could very well be that Zach LaVine is not playing today. He is questionable to play against the Raptors. It's his foot. So there is a good chance that the guy who's killed us in the play-in, he killed us. Zach LaVine may not be suited up for the Bulls today, guys, just so you know. Of course, Lonzo Ball's still out. He's been out forever, Lonzo Ball. On our side of the things, Thaddeus Young is questionable for today still from his illness. Christian Coloco, of course, is out. Javon Freeman Liberty is still listed on the injury list for his ankle. And Precious is on the injury list this morning for his knee. He is questionable for today's game also. So there you go. We may not have Precious and Thad once again, and Coloco is still out as normal. So there's your latest lineup news. Our ref report right now coming at you hot and fresh, just dropped in the last 5 minutes. They don't release the refs until like 5 minutes ago, so I'm going to tell you who they are. Our crew chief today is Kevin Scott. He's in his 14th season out of Oconee County, South Carolina. He is that guy who's kind of a country guy. His favorite TV show is 48 Hours. His favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption. He likes to listen to Eric Church. His favorite book is Friday Night Lights. He's the cheese pizza enthusiast. His favorite app is the Weather Channel. And if he's looking at the weather in Toronto, it's snowing in Toronto right now, on and off outside. It's cold enough and it's coming down a little bit. I was like, is that snow outside? I was like, yeah, it is snow outside. Yikes. He most like to visit Great Barrier Reef. His bucket list is African safari, and his hidden talent is facial recognition. I still find that really weird. It's like, does you play Guess Who really well, Kevin Scott or something? Because you can do facial recognition. Is that what it is? Like, can you just name people when you see them? Oh, that's Sally. Oh, that's Eminem. Oh, that's Billy. Oh, that's Snoop Dogg. You know, can you just recognize people from their faces? I think a lot of people can do that. That's not very special. He plays golf and fitness training, fishing, and attends NASCAR events. That's Kevin Scott, our crew chief today. Well, Kevin, his win percentage for us is 56%. We won the last game. He refereed us this season already, and the Bulls win 50% of the time. So the split is for the Raptors with crew chief Kevin Scott. 56-50 is the split with our crew chief. The second ref is the infamous Natalie Sago. Natalie Sago in her 7th season out of Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. You know what? I think she changed her bio because I do not remember this on her bio from before. Her favorite TV show is Unsolved Mysteries. Robert Stack classic. What a great show Unsolved Mysteries was. Traumatizing people from my generation for years with that crazy ass music and the creepiness of Robert Stack coming in and talking to us about crazy ass shit. Yeah, that's awesome, Natalie. I'm going to give you a couple points to you just because you like Unsolved Mysteries. Her favorite movie is Hardball. Her favorite musician is Morgan Wallen. Her favorite book is Winning. And her favorite meal is steak. So we need some cheese pizza and some steak. Her favorite app is the IG, y'all, and she most like to visit Fiji. Her bucket list is to watch a game in all 30 of the MLB stadiums, and she's more than halfway there apparently. And her hidden talent is juggling. Yeah, she definitely added that Unsolved Mysteries update. She must have got on a kick this summer and watched a whole bunch of classic Unsolved Mysteries, and she's all into it now. I got some respect for that Unsolved Mysteries on there. I'm going to tell you right now. Natalie earned a bachelor's degree in elementary physical education from the University of Missouri, St. Louis in 2013. She has 2 mini Aussie doodles named Bogey and Divot. All right. Well, Natalie is the one ref that is not on our side today. She statistically favors the Chicago Bulls. 47% win percentage for us, 50% win percentage for the Bulls. So 47-50 for the Bulls under Natalie Sago, the second ref. The third ref, well, we got Kevin Scott and we got Evan Scott. We got Kevin and Evan Scott. That's right. Evan Scott, Nick Nurse's buddy who loves Prince, is in his 6th season out of South Korea. His favorite TV show is Sports Center. His favorite movie is Inception. As I said, he likes the purple one, the Symbol Guy, as his favorite musician. His favorite book is Stealing for Time. We need another steak for Mr. Evan Scott, along with a side of asparagus. He likes FaceTime as his favorite app, and he might like to visit the Amalfi Coast. Yeah, Evan Scott was born in South Korea. He came to the United States when he's 4 months old. He played 2 seasons of rugby at Radford University in Virginia. Scott was a 3-sport athlete in high school, competing in baseball, basketball, and swimming. There you go. He enjoys spending time with his son and weightlifting. Yeah, Evan Scott is our favorite ref today, guys. He has a very, very good win percentage for us. 60% of our games we win. We did lose the last game that he refed us. And the Bulls win 48% of their games when Evan Scott is present. So 60-48 is the split with the third ref, Evan Scott. So the two, Kevin and Evan, they got Raptors favoritism in the history of their refereeing. Meanwhile, Natalie Sago, the second ref, favors the Bulls. So there's your ref report for today. Not a bad ref crew for us. It could be a little goofy. They're very interesting personalities, the three of them. They're very different. Kevin Scott likes to run things a certain way, and he doesn't like getting shown up, so don't fuck with him. Evan Scott's a younger ref who can be kind of manipulated, pushed around a little bit. And Natalie Sago can be a firecracker. I'll tell you that right now. So don't try her either. So, yeah, refs, be nice to the Raptors. And everybody, please, on the Raptors, respect the refs and play right, play with energy, and play tough, and they will give you the calls. It really is the team that works the hardest that gets the calls from the refs. It's not totally the biases of the big market versus a small market. If a small market team shows up and a big market team is laying an egg on the bed, the refs will call it for the small market team if they are busting their ass. So that's the biggest key with referees. It's always outwork the other team. They will give you favor. That's just the damn truth about basketball. All right. Yeah, let's get into the comments with y'all this morning on preview day. It's IST day again. Day number 3. Bulls, Raptors, in-season tournament. Yeah, we get that nice fancy black court out there again tonight for the game. That's right. Let's go. That's right. Monique is first in today. The greatest super fan, Monique Lawrence, is in our chat this morning. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. This game should be a beatdown by the Raptors. Don't let it slip away. Welcome home, DeMar and Chuck. But go Raptors, revenge game. That's right. She's talking about Chuck Swirsky and DeMar DeRozan coming back to Toronto today. Bittersweet. I'm sure DeMar coming in, seeing the snowflakes falling. He's like, yeah, it's Toronto. It's Canada. It's my old flame. It's my old love. My old love. I love you. I love you. I love you. That's right. And yeah, we don't need to leave this game to them. No, 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 we don't. No, we do not. They have no business beating us today. We have good vibes right now, and we need to win today at all costs. We just win. I don't give a shit about IST and whether we go to Vegas. I just care about beating the Bulls today because we owe the Bulls some beating them. Yeah, we do. We very much do. Monique's saying, Bulls are so bad right now and banged up. Take advantage, Raptors. Yeah, I mean, I only see Levine on their list, and I don't know how much more banged up. I mean, that's important. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, they're in a bad place. They're kind of fumbling around. They may not have enough to add up to regular winning in the NBA right now, and it's kind of scary for Bulls Nation because they're not in the most flexible position as a front office. Fiercely saying, "Good morning, Superfan Mo." I agree. Happy Friday, Raptor Freak family. Let's get the dub tonight. Yes, Fiercey. I needed Precious, Dennis, or Gary to get the chain after the W. Well, if I'm gonna speculate on any of these guys to get it, I'll bet you Dennis is most likely to get it because first of all, Gary's slumping and he's really not playing well, and Precious may not be playing together at all. I mean, today at all. So Dennis was on the Will Lou and Blake Murphy Raptors show once again yesterday, and he said that he had not gotten the chain yet, and he'd like to get it at some point, but it's okay. He likes seeing his teammates get success also. He's not a hater, and he knows he'll get that chain at some point. But yeah, I'll bet you Dennis is going to get that chain soon. Yeah, it could very well be tonight. That'd be awesome. Trevor J saying, "Good morning, Raptors. Happy family. Happy Raptors. Happy family. Happy Friday and go game day. Let's go Raptors. Win big. All right. I like that, Commissioner J. With the Commissioner Day, it's one of these days. It's an in-season tournament day with in-season tournament games. There's quite a few on the docket today. Of course, like I said, Boston's playing Orlando at 2:30 today. I hope the Magic keep their really stellar play up and defeat the Celtics in an early game, 2:30. So around 4:30, we're going to know whether East Group C is figured out because basically if Boston wins, they've won our group. And basically, if Orlando wins, people are still alive. So a lot of the teams in the group are rooting for Orlando as far as Brooklyn, Chicago, and ourselves. So go on, Magic. You beat us the other night. You beat the Denver Nuggets the next night. Now you got to beat Boston tonight. So you go do that. But yeah, there are 7 in-season tournament games tonight with 2 from our group in particular. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fiercely saying, let's grab the bull by the horns and take him down, wrestle him down like John Bunyan and something like that. Yeah, didn't John Bunyan fight an ox or something? I don't know. I don't remember that exactly. Let's see. Cowboy is here. Good morning, Alex, Pam, and Raptor Freaks. And let's go. It's game day. Let's start this win streak tonight. Yeah, we win again tonight. That's a win streak. That's 2 in a row. So yeah, let's beat the Bulls, baby. Let's beat the Bulls, baby. Yeah. All right. Trevor's saying it's never too late to say I'm sorry. Forgive me, but it's awesome, sad, and heartbroken when you don't have that chance to say it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. Words of wisdom from Trevor saying it's never too late to say I'm sorry. That's what I'll say to the Raptors right now. It's never too late to say I'm sorry to our fans that we crapped the bed on a playing game last season. It went out like chumps with a huge lead and losing at home in a play-in tournament game that was so vital and important. We will forgive you if you go out there and beat the Bulls, but we need this chance to do it. And it'd be sad if y'all don't give us a chance to forgive you because y'all lose up to them again. So yeah, using your words of wisdom to our situation with the team today, Trevor J. So I want to forgive you guys, but you got to beat the Bulls today. That's right. You cannot lose the Bulls in a humiliating bad way once again, like you did in that overtime game at the beginning of the season. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. G saying Raptors, do not think this is an easy win and play down. Start with energy. I'd love for the Raptors to look at this game exactly like they did on Sunday. They came with the exact right kind of stuff on Sunday against the Pistons, And well, this is the same thing. And in fact, you may not need that much excellence that you had on Sunday. Maybe just close to it. You don't have to be exactly as perfect as Sunday, but the closer you are on that scale to Sunday as opposed to Tuesday, that would be good if you're more prepared and showing up. There's a weird story coming out. Dennis talking about this on the Raptors show yesterday that, before the Orlando game on Tuesday, there was an issue in the hotel with the Raptors and their elevator. Apparently, the elevator was screwed up for some reason, and it was I don't put anything past other teams, fan nations, and other cities, especially the Celtics fan nation, with messing around, doing kind of shenanigans, kind of bullshit. These are the kind of people that pull the fire alarm in the middle of the night before a huge game in the opposing team's hotel. It's things like that. Well, I wouldn't put it past. There's some weirdness with the elevator at the Orlando hotel on the day we're going to play the in-season tournament game against the Magic, that somebody screwed up the hotel elevator on purpose to try and make the Raptors run down 16 flights of stairs in their hotel. In some ways, that could have been a calculated thing by somebody weird who's trying to screw things up. Maybe they knew or something. I don't know. Maybe it was just dumb luck that it just happened with the timing at that time. But they were in a situation where Dennis and a couple of the other Raptors had to kind of gauge whether they should go down the stairs, a lot of flights of stairs, before the game, tire themselves out, or wait for the elevator to be ready and be late to get to the building to prepare for their game as well as they're supposed to. In some ways, you can be delayed for getting to the game in your preparation. It could screw up your schedule of stretching and all the different things that you do before the game. So in the download, this may have been one of the factors in why the Raptors look so bad with their energy and not being ready before the game, because an elevator was not working at their hotel and it delayed them from arriving at the arena to get there to get ready. 4 players in particular were in that group, and Dennis Schroeder was one of them. So that's a very interesting thing that I learned about Tuesday in Orlando in the hotel elevator. Yeah, very, very interesting. So that was weird. Maybe part of the reason why they didn't come to the game correct, because they didn't get the proper lead into the game because they lost time because of a fucking elevator. There you go. G, I'm so happy to see you as always. My guy G, he's the best. Fiercely saying, fuck the IST. I just want to kick their butts tonight. That's exactly right, Fiercely. And you're getting a dunk for that one. She's exactly right. She's exactly right. I don't give a shit about that court. I don't give a shit about the gold jerseys. I don't give a shit about this cups. No offense, Trevor J. I don't care right now. It's about beating the Bulls. It's about kicking the Bulls' ass because of the last 2 times we played them. Yeah, that's what it's about. Fiercey knows. She put that peach there to signify that we're going to kick them in their big old butt. And that's what we need to do tonight. That's right. Jimmy is here. Good to see Jimmy Pope, the Pope of Positivity. Let's see what he's got to say to us. Morning, y'all. Hope we come correct tonight. That's kind of what I've been just talking about. Coming correct to the game with the right energy and the right attitude and the right kind of like thinking and coming in. I really do feel like in some ways our leadership on our team is starting to teach our younger players to be more professional in certain ways. It can't hurt that Dennis Schroeder is a very vocal kind of like accountability kind of guy. In some ways, Scotty may look at him and be like, yeah, he's kind of a pain in the ass, but man, he's right. He's right. If I could just follow him a little bit more and get things going, it could very well be the leadership style of Schroeder compared to Van Vliet. It just works better with some of our guys, our younger guys on our team, where, Scotty may blossom more because he's more open to listening to Dennis tell him how he can get better than Fred. So I'm hoping that this is true more and more as the season goes on. Dennis is a really interesting leader. He can be very tough on people, but it's all with love and it's all about helping the person get better. And he's all about team first. So that is not ever a personal thing when he tells people how they should do things better. He holds people accountable. It's just so important to have leaders on your team that hold people accountable. You don't have that, well, you don't have focus, you don't have the best version of your team, and you don't win as much. And that's what Dennis knows. And I love that about him. I really do. Monique saying, we have to hit out first out of the gate. That's right. No, fuck them up. Now, Chicago is one of those teams that if we do get down, we can overcome them by the end of the game and make it up, just like a Wizards or a Spurs. Now, we don't want to be in that situation, though, if we don't have to be. In fact, we've shown that we can be up by 16 and we lose to them still by the end of the game, playing in tournament. So, yeah, we need to just take care of business and do it professionally. Get a good lead for the whole game and just keep it, just like against the Pistons. Let's do that today. We want Cali stress meter very low because things are going real good for Toronto Raptors. That's right. Tristan's here. Good to see Tristan Phipps. Ooh, little bit of an early one. That's right. An early one for the Celtics and the Magic. 2:30 tip off. It's so bizarre. It's like the day after Thanksgiving on a Friday, and they're going to play a game at 2:30 in the afternoon. What are you trying to be like? The NFL? You're a day too late, NBA. Putting a game on at 2:30 this afternoon. It's very strange. Very, very strange. Early one. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. I hope we win. I do too. We need to win. We need to win for our record to even it up better. We need to win because this is a losing team we're playing tonight. And we're supposed to take care of business against losing teams, Raptors. We're better than this team. We need to kick their ass. I love you, DeMar. But you need to lose today, is what I'm saying. Yeah, and your daughter is not allowed in this arena. Now, Batia, you stay away from DR DeRozan. You do not bring that young lady down to the game tonight. You do. No, you do not. No, you do not. A high stakes game. Do not bring DeRozan's daughter to the game, please. For God's sake, don't, please. Jimmy's saying, I want Orlando to lose and lose bad. I could care less about the tournament. Wow, he's just spiteful towards Magic. No, no, dog. We can't have the Celtics feel good, feel so good. I want them blemished. I want them to take an L today to the Magic. Yeah, Magic, I kind of respect and like the Magic. I'm not upset with the Magic right now. The Magic kicked our ass, rightfully so, because they are playing at a high level. They kicked our ass, and then they went and kicked the Nuggets and Jokic's ass the very next night on the second night of a back-to-back. I'm not a hater on the Magic for this. I want the Magic to spoil the Celtics. There are different levels of evil, and the Celtics is at the very top of the list. And the Magic, in a lot of ways, I mean, they haven't had a whole lot of good things happen to them. And in some ways, I don't mind Magic Nation reveling in some goodness right now. In fact, I'm former Magic Nation. I was Magic Nation from when they first started their franchise up until the Raptors existed. So I was Orlando Magic in the early 90s, just so y'all know. There's a little bit of a sympathy for that team and ways because of that I am a former Magic Nation, just so y'all know. Because I was in Florida, and that was the team that I watched on local TV. I was a huge Magic fan of Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott, Scott Skiles, Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Hardaway. Yeah, those were the teams I was watching. That was my team at that time. Tristan saying good morning. Good morning. He said a bit of an early one. Good morning. Yeah, I start early in signification of hoping the Raptors will get to the spots early and win all the energy battles on the court tonight. You got to get to the spot early. So I start at 9:15 on game day. That's right. Jimmy Pope saying, I don't need Orlando gaining even more confidence. I do. I don't mind this. We don't play them again for a little bit. And there's always ebbs and flows to the season. Now we need to knock Boston down a little bit more. Seriously. There's a lesser of two evils here. And Magic are lesser than two evils. Seriously, Boston is the big evil. And we don't want them to be perfect. We don't want Adam Silver to get his wet dream of a perfect Celtics and a perfect Lakers team going to Vegas in this in-season tournament. That's what he wants. That's what the NBA status quo wants. I don't want that shit. I want the Celtics to get a blemish. I don't want either of those teams to win this in-season tournament. I want somebody else to come in and beat whoever, the Lakers or the Celtics, and neither one of those teams should be winning this thing. We need another team to win. If either the Celtics or the Lakers win this in-season tournament, I'm going to say this is WWE, and Vince McMahon is booking it just like Adam Silver's booking basketball right now. He's booking it just like he writes it on paper. This is who I want to win. This is who I want in the main event. And he gives it to them. Referees, make this happen. Yeah, I don't want that shit. So fuck the Celtics. They need to lose to the Magic today. We can disagree on this, Jimmy. Cool Cat Sam, it seems like Raptors players were pissed off about that Orlando loss. Pascal was cussing on Open Gym, which is a first. Yeah, there's one picture. It's really funny. I found of Siakam reacting to Darko coming to the back to give Malachi the chain after the last game. And Siakam's face is so joyful seeing the energy of Darko. Like when he yells and he's like, let's fucking go. And like Darko's always cussing back there too. And he's kind of like, let's fucking go. And he's so energetic and happy when he gets in that mode. And it really does seem like Siakam enjoyed it. Like his face, he's so lit up. He's like, yeah, look at my coach. Look at how crazy my coach is. And look how much energy he's bringing. I love that. I love that so much. I think that you're right about this, that we were pissed after Orlando because we embarrassed ourselves. We didn't show up professionally. And like I said, there may be some of these guys on the team, like Dennis, that said things like, we did not come to this game properly. We can blame the elevator, but no, we shouldn't. We should blame ourselves for not coming prepared. Really, in some ways, they should be mad at themselves for not showing up to a huge high stakes game properly. It's basically like showing up to the playoffs and not being prepared for the playoffs, and the other team just kicks the shit out of you, embarrasses you. It's a very similar kind of thing. What happened on Tuesday is coming in for game one of the first round of the playoffs, and one team doesn't take it as seriously as the other team. It's like it's the playoffs, it's a new level, and that other team doesn't match that other team's energy, and boom, you get your ass beat in the first game of the playoff series. So yeah, we've seen this before. MSJ saying this Bulls win has to be a win. Why are you saying this Bulls win? That's not right grammar. Come on, Chris. Why are you writing in this Bulls win? We don't fucking give them a win yet. Come on now. Has to be a win. Show us something. Has to be a win for the Raptors. Get that bullshit out of here. This Raptors win has to be a win. Show us something. That's what I would have wrote. And I mean, the Raptors beat them. Okay, now you clarify. Like, man, come on now. Figure out your wishes here and get them straight, because a genie only listens once. And you don't want to say something crazy and then you get some sort of crazy result for your 3 wishes. That's not what I wanted. Wayne's here. Good to see Wayne Strainer. Is Orlando for real? Let's see. Bulls aren't a threat considering they needed help from the referees and our incompetence helping them. That hotel incident is no fluke. It's the South and the NBA. Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering about that hotel incident a little bit more and more, the more I find out about it and just how poorly we started the game. Although we don't want to find excuses. We should be able to do it no matter what. These people try and screw up with our lives, messing with us, trying to stop us. We should be such badasses. We overcome all of it anyway. And that's the problem right there. I think Orlando is somewhat for real. I mean, I think they've got the right mix of things. Their coaches really bought into and believed in by their players. They've got some really high level young players. They're not like other young teams in this league right now. Like Oklahoma City in some ways is similar to Orlando. They're kind of operating at the next level above being a young team that doesn't know what they're doing. Some of those guys know what they're doing now. I think the experience of FIBA World Cup for Franz and Paulo was very good for them. And that in some ways they matured a little bit this summer and got a little bit more confidence in certain things. So that's part of it. I think I mean, it really is kind of like they don't have a whole lot of vets, and their young guys are playing very mature, is what I'll say. I think Orlando's for real. They have one of the best defenses in the league right now, and they're kicking some butt, and they have offensive players that are steady and consistent. So there's a lot of reasons why they could continue to be very good. Now they're different without Bamba and Bowl this year. They lack that really long, crazy length that they've utilized in the past. They do have a little bit of it still with Isaac hanging around and stuff like that. But otherwise, I believe in this Magic team. I think they're very good and they're scary. Yeah, they're on the rise, but we still can beat their ass on the regular. It's just we got to get better things going. For some reason, Orlando's not been a place where we could play very well. And I wonder if it's because it's Florida. I wonder if there's other reasons. Maybe there's some bullshit from Tampa stuff. I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly. But yeah, Orlando's for real. They're getting better and better. And they're going to be an Eastern power. They're going to be an Eastern power. I can tell. Randolph's here. Good to see you, Randolph Phillips. Good game day. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative game. Game 15 has to be the turning point for this team. Time to put it all together and make us excited to watch. I'm with you on this, Randolph Phillips. Blessing to you and the Phillips family and all the people in your life and all the Raptor Freak families and people around the world right now. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Yeah, I don't know if it's a turning point or maybe the beginning of something really special coming up with a streak of wins. I don't know. I'm just taking things game by game, day by day, And today it's the Bulls, and we have an opportunity to get some revenge on them for some bad games against them in the last times we played them. Cool Cat saying, Lex, you may have a point with their lack of energy, no proper warm ups of their body. That elevator thing had to be a setup. You were right to wait instead of 16 flights. They were right to wait instead of 16 flights of stairs. It's just super fishy. It's very, very fishy. That kind of shit. When that kind of shit happens, it's very fishy. I wouldn't get such high hotel rooms, honestly. Why are you up on the 16th floor, Raptors? You can be down near closer to the ground. Maybe you can go down 4 flights of stairs. I don't know. Jimmy saying Orlando made a couple of calls, laughing my ass off. I mean, it could be just dumb luck, but there could have been some idiot Magic fan down there trying to make some sort of advantage for them. Who knows? Let's not give it any power. I'll just note that this was talked about by Dennis Schroeder and that it could have been that. Dennis had another YouTube drop yesterday. He's so quick. He's prolific. He's making these videos and churning them out. He played the Indiana Pacers after a back-to-back, and boom, first thing in the morning, he's got the vlog for the Pacers and the Magic game up, talking about how he wanted to rendezvous with Franz and Mo Wagner on Monday, but their mom came to town from Germany. And he said, family first, Franz and Mo. Go hang out with Mama Wagner instead of me. It's okay. I want you to go with you. We'll get time together anyway at some point. Yeah, it was a big deal for Dennis to play against the Wagner brothers in that Orlando game. That's part of the reason why he's pissed that we lost, because he wanted the bragging rights of beating them. He did. He really did. That clip is so fun. The new Dennis Schroeder YouTube clip. He is awesome, man. Like, they film everything. They're filming him on the Will Lou show yesterday while he's doing it. He's like, yeah, Joel's filming me right now. And they turn around. There's Joel filming him for his vlog right there. He got the highlights. He put them on there. He shows like some of the stuff like his preparation on game day and the things like that. And then, of course, yeah, all the good stuff with the family, of course. There's always good family stuff on there too, like him coming back and being back with his daughter and kissing his little son, and just so happy to see the family of Dennis Schroeder and just their inside life. It's very interesting. Yeah. Let's see. Country Kong's here. Good to see John Paul. Good morning, Raptors freaks. Lex, the Raptors have to take a professional approach to tonight's game. And how? I'm with you. The fan base is looking for revenge for the nonsense that took place in Chicago earlier this season. Yeah, I still want revenge for a play-in last year. Yeah, I still want revenge for that. That's what I want revenge for. Yeah, sure. That humiliating loss at the beginning of the season, it sucked. And we need revenge for that also. So let's get revenge on both games tonight. And get our first ever in-season tournament victory. That's another thing. In some ways, that doesn't matter in a lot of ways right now, because we're not really in the in-season tournament anymore. But it will be good for the Raptors franchise history books to get the first ever in-season tournament win in the books. We need to win one of these to break history for our franchise. All these other teams, a lot of them are getting wins in this in-season tournament, and they'll be able to say this was our first ever in-season tournament victory, because this thing's going to be staying around. It's going to be here every year now. And in some ways, we need to start building that history with the in-season tournament by getting our very first in-season tournament win. So there's another reason why it's a good thing to win tonight. Let's break history and get Raptors franchise first in-season tournament win. That's right. Monique is saying, how much does Malachi drop tonight? Well, it's so funny because, man, great minds think alike. What did I say yesterday after I reacted to Malachi's great performance in Wednesday against the Indiana Pacers? I said, that's great, Malachi. That's real good. Now repeat, rinse, and repeat, rinse, and repeat, rinse. Do it again and again. Let's string them together. And you know what? Our guy Schroeder said the exact same thing on the Raptors show yesterday, saying, yeah, I'm really proud of Malachi. He had a fantastic game. He totally helped us come back and close the lead that the Pacers had built in the first part of the game and helped us come back to even with them. But I want to see him string consecutive games like this together. And I'm with you, Dennis. I'm exactly with you. And that's what I said yesterday. Let's see if we can do this consistently for a couple games. And I hope Malachi does. I really, really do. I need you to do this so that you make Masai look good, Malachi. In some ways, I care about you making Masai look good more than you looking good. Seriously, because he's put a lot into you and he's put it on the line, and we've invested a lot of time. And man, we need your ship to come in. if anything, to help Masai and his track record as a GM. So yeah, no, that wasn't a miss. Let's come back around and revisit Malachi Flynn in year 4 and see him get to a new level of consistency. Please, sir. Please make Masai look good. Please. Trevor Jason, can I say stay too long? Cannot stay too long today. I have to go and do some things. It's Black Friday shopping. I have to get a few more things for my vacation home. Win big tonight, Raptors. All right, Trevor J. All right, man. Hey, enjoying the Black Friday stuff. Me, I am the opposite. I will not buy anything today just because they told me to. You know, this is economic driver impetus to go consume. Buy, buy, buy. Buy, 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 buy. Well, I say bye bye to buying things because what the hell? You know, they make this season all about making up red ink into black ink for companies and stuff. I get that. I get that. And people want to stay in business. But you know, the pain, pressure that we put on people to buy things around this time of year is silly, and it bugs me. It bugs me. You go ahead and do Black Friday, Trevor. I have no problem with you doing it, but it's not for the Raptors freak. This guy, no, it's not. I don't buy just because they tell me to buy. Wayne saying thanks, Lex, for calling out Superfan and his super niceness, which we don't need. Oh, I remember Wayne when this went down. Your reaction with Nav and what happened with DR DeRozan. And yeah, I'm with you on this. In some ways, you know, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare to Nav Bhatia to sit there and be like, no, no, DR, please, no, no. Ah! And it's like he couldn't do nothing about it. Like, what are you gonna do to that kid? You can't smack that kid. That's not your kid. That's the Mars kid, and you shouldn't smack kids anyway. What are you gonna do about it? Everybody say, shut him out, Nav. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. It's like it's something. You know, what the fuck do you do in that situation? Seriously, it's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, I don't think. Listen, forget about Nav bringing her to the game. DeMar will not let her come to Toronto to play a game ever again. Probably partly for her safety. You know, there's a lot that happened afterwards. Not that we're, you know, our fan nation loves DeMar, and we wouldn't do anything to his daughter. But just in case, he probably doesn't want her coming down the arena and people seeing her in the arena tonight. No, 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 he doesn't want that. He wants his child to be safe. And in some ways, he's embarrassed by what she did. I'm telling you, he is. He's not that kind of guy that wants an advantage from something stupid like his daughter screaming at the game. He wants the advantage from himself playing excellent on the court and winning it himself with his shots. So it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. You will not see DR DeRozan in the building tonight. You will not. I promise you, Raptor fans. There will be no reliving your trauma. She will not be there. I trust you. Trust me. She won't be there. You won't see her. If you do see her there and she's sitting there with Nav, I'm going to be really pissed at Bhatia. I will. Yeah, I'll be with you, Wayne. I'll be joining you and be like, what the fuck are you doing, Nav Bhatia? What are you doing, bro? You didn't learn? Country Kong saying, I'm hoping for the best for Malachi. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now, but let's not forget the Bulls have elite guard defenders and guys like Caruso, Io, and Craig, hoping for the best. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a tough battle, and he didn't have the best game against them in the first one. We'll have to see, but still, I don't care. That's the thing about the NBA. You got to find and get yours no matter what. That was the thing that Jalen Suggs did the other night. He's smaller. He shouldn't be able to do some of the stuff he did inside on us on Tuesday night. It's really will and totally just wanting it. If you have that will and want, I don't care how big you are. I don't care how good the other defenders are. You can fucking beat them if you really, really want it. And that's part of what I saw in Malachi against Indiana is that he really, really wanted to make those shots. And that's what I've been crying out for. You can do this, Malachi. It's just, I don't care what the odds are against you. I don't care how good Caruso is. You can fucking beat him if you really want it. You really want it, you go do it, Malachi. That's what I hope for, JP. I want to see him really want it and go take it. And that's all I've been asking for from these Raptors this whole time. This is like, Scotty, you really want it? Go take it. Pascal, you really want it? Go cook, man. Go cook. The kitchen's ready for you. Go in there. We prepped it. Go cook. Yes, Chef Siakam. Go cook, please. That's the kind of things I'm talking about. The stuff's there for them to take. It's what they want. Go take it. Is what I'm saying. Dana's here. Good to see Canadian Dana. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be loud and proud tonight. You're going to the game. Dana's going to be in the building for the IST game tonight. And I hope that she's there for history, the first ever in-season tournament victory for the Toronto Raptors. That's what I want to see tonight. MSJ saying Flynn is in deep tonight. Maybe Darko can tell him to get the fuck going. Something like that. Laugh out loud. Seems Darko is a potty mouth anyway. What's wrong with being a fucking potty mouth? Fucking fuck. I watch a wrestling podcast. I have a couple of old wrestlers I like to watch. And yesterday I was listening to Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. ECW star Rob Van Dam's awesome. And he's talking on his podcast about cussing and people not liking people cussing. He's like, well, I can cuss if I want to. And you shouldn't be telling me not to cuss. And I'm like that. I find that some of the most people, it really is true. The people that are free with cussing and like that, they are usually the most honest, blunt people that you can talk to. Rob Van Dam cusses. I trust him. He's a very honest, trustworthy person. Darko Rajakovic cusses a lot. Well, I buy in. I trust him more. In some ways, people that are guarded and kind of like not totally themselves, like, if you're gonna hold back because you can't say the F word, then I don't trust you, because you may not be totally coming clean with your personality and what you really want to say. If you don't have a filter, well, you can trust that person. So it's a weird thing. I like Darko's potty mouth. It's fun. It's not like most coaches have potty mouths. I would believe Nick Nurse has a potty mouth too. Jimmy saying Magic at this point is more of our competition, and every game matters when it comes to seeding, especially late in the season. So whatever game they can lose, I'm down for it. The Magic, you just want them to lose. Why? I'd say the same damn thing about the Celtics, Jimmy. And in some ways, the Celtics are top dog up the top. We need them to lose. So, yeah, I mean, you can see whatever your weight towards who you want to lose or win today. I want the Celtics to lose an in-season tournament game. I really do. That to me has priority over the Magic. The Magic have already lost an in-season tournament game. They're already imperfect. The Celtics have not yet. So let's give them an L. They need an L. That's why I'm with it on this. Let's see. And the Magic, listen, the Magic, they're all our competition. The Celtics are for sure damn our competition. And I don't know. We can disagree on this. I'm not going to fight over whether we should be rooting for the Celtics or the Magic. That's your own personal choice. Me personally, it's better for the Raptors if the Magic win today. Let's just put it that way, Jimmy. It's better if the Magic beat the Celtics. Seriously. MSJ saying Orlando has terrific defense versus the fast break. We got stuck in half court with them. We didn't have the energy. It was in the elevator. Cool Cat saying Magic has continuity. We made a lot of changes. New coach, new system, only 2 core players left on the team, so we don't have that continuity. We are a new team learning each other. I think we have more than 2 core players still. We have more than that. I think we have like 4 or 5 core players that are still on the team. But this is a good point that Cool Cat's making. There's a certain level of continuity from last year, especially with the coach, that we're doing new things and starting over to a degree. And I mean, we can't really gauge our situation against other teams like this. We really just got to focus on what we're doing ourselves and progressing with ourselves, because everybody's on different schedules and they all started their different things at different times. We're starting over again a little bit right now with a new coach. And in some ways, it's not worth it to gauge where we're at with these other teams. In some ways, we're ahead of these teams. In some ways, we are behind. So I don't know. We should only worry about ourselves and what we're doing and getting better as ourselves, perfecting ourselves. We can't control what these other teams are going to be doing and what schedules and how quickly they do it. We can only control how we do it. And if we can do it quicker and we can get lots of good positive changes and good meshing and good things, learning the system, we could be maybe faster at it and get to a different point. But I'm not gauging our progress towards any other team in this league at this point, because all 30 teams are their each individual thing, and they have their own recent histories that have the reasons why they're in the certain places where they're at, like our change with our coach. Trevor J saying, remember, Lex, it is a holiday in the U.S. That's why the game is so early. So they get today off too? Oh, whatever. I don't give a shit. It's still stupid. It's a fucked up time for them to play, and I think it's fishy as fuck. I really do feel like they wanted to get that Boston game over before our game, because basically it's like this, Trevor. If the Celtics win this afternoon, we're eliminated from the in-season tournament, and they can say that before our game. And in some ways, I don't think the players look at this or care, but in some ways, if you're told you're eliminated from the tournament, do you come with the same kind of energy as if you were still playing in it? That's part of it that's fishy to me. The timing is it's way too early in the day. They're going to decide this game before our game. and it will have implications on whether our game means something or not. That's what I don't like about it there. Criscom saying, all right, I'm feeling good about an 8-point minimum win tonight. Enjoy the game, Raptors freaks. I like this. Criscom's giving us his prediction, the great Criscom, and the tradition of the great Kreskin. He is a mentalist, and he will give us his prediction. He's seen it in the ether, and he's bringing it to his brain. It's coming out of his mouth. He's saying 8-point win for the Raptors over the Bulls tonight. And I like that prediction by Criscom, so we're going to give him a dunk. Where is Criscom? I know he's on here. Criscom is on here. I know he is. I'm going to find him. There he is right there. Bam. Criscom getting a dunk. Cool Cat saying, Lex, most teams go really high to avoid sleep distraction. It's a known fact. You go higher up and you order food under a different name. Yeah, it may be in some ways a hotel employee is a Magic fan. That's usually the case. The problem is you can go in Indescript, use another name. You can try and be on the down low. But if they're walking in and an employee recognizes them, they're going to be like, yeah, I know they're here. Yeah, dude, you should pull the fire alarm tonight. No, I'm not going to do that. I got something better. When they're leaving to go to the game, I'm going to disable the elevator. What? That's awesome. Do it, man. You'll be helping the Magic. It could be stupid shit like that. Seriously. It could be that they try and do as incognito as possible. And the fucking maid knows they're there. Oh, I saw the Raptors are here. Oh, good. You know how much I love the Magic. I have to stop them. It's just like the guy who runs the elevator or something is mad. Yeah. I don't know. Me personally, I hate heights, and I don't like being very high up in buildings normally. So I'm like, to me, I'm like, why are they so high up already? Country Kong saying, did y'all see Suggs against the Nuggets? He just gets into it with everyone. He's just a dog, so I don't think it's personal. When Scotty got drafted, he stood up and clapped, and I could tell it's sincere. In some ways, that was weird, that clip. I know they've showed it sometimes on NBA TV in the breaks when Scotty got drafted. And, at first, I thought he was clapping because he got drafted, and maybe he didn't realize it. I don't know. I'm not going to overanalyze the drafting of Scotty over Jalen and the actions that happened at that point. The camera did have the camera on Jalen Suggs because they thought we were going to draft him, and they were wrong, and they had to switch to Scotty in his white suit really quick. It's true. It could be this. I would say this, Country Kong, that maybe Jalen figured out that how effective his dog was against us in a very higher level. And maybe he's more encouraged to play with that intensity even more in the next game. It could also be, all right, I'm using, they drafted Scotty over me against the Raptors. Well, I'm using, these guys are the champs, and I want to come at them with the same kind of dog because I have something to prove. So I agree. I think that he's encouraged by the success he had against the Raptors on Tuesday to be even more like what he was doing. And that it may be very more common for him to get up with that kind of intensity against opponents. And it not necessarily has to be the Raptors. But I'll bet you he does get up a little bit extra. I mean, was he really as intense as he was against us, against Denver? Like, really? Because he was yelling a lot and he was trying to be intimidating. But that's interesting. That's very interesting that he had the same energy against the Nuggets. That's very interesting. I didn't watch that game, so I don't know. Scott B saying, Masai is the greatest president in sports. He has done an incredible job with this organization and team, and he has nothing to prove. Incredible job in a market and in this market. And the NBA is always against us. Yeah, Scott B, good to see you back, man. My man Scott B, original Raptor freak, been with us for a long time. I like what you're saying here. The only reason why I want Malachi to do better, to make him look good, is because I don't want him to have a miss. And that's a draft pick that's kind of looked like a miss, like maybe a flub. And it's not too late. It's still like a chance for Malachi to really come through and make Bobby and Masai look good. And that's what I want. Yeah, Chef Siakam. That's right, Chef Siakam. Let's go to chef school and chef these guys up. Let's get some steaks for two of the refs and a cheese pizza for Kevin Scott. Yeah. Wayne Strainer saying OG needs to give Kobe White a haircut and Caruso a hair transplant. Controlled aggression along with clinical execution is what the Raptor freaks are about. And it's not perfection. It's consistency. That's right. That's right. You know what? One of the things I want to just opine about real quick right now or talk about is Dennis Schroeder's shot. You notice how he has such a light shot, a light touch, and the way it dances around the rim and just kind of falls in. That's such a beautiful thing. Because his shot doesn't have to be exactly perfect. You've seen in the last game the way Dennis was making some of those shots, it would bounce around a little flip off the front of the rim, hit the back of the rim, and then go in. It's such a good technical shot. It's such a good fundamental shot because he's giving his shot multiple chances to fall into the basket with the soft touch and the right type of where you hit. Even if you hit the rim, it's really likely the inertia, the momentum of the spin will make it fall through. I love that. When you see somebody shoot like Dennis shot in the last game, where it kind of dances around the rim and falls in, that's just really good fundamental, great, smart touch and fundamentals in shooting. And I love that. More of our guys could shoot like that. That would be fantastic. I would be so happy. I kind of like this comment as far as like OG needs to give Kobe, cut his hair and take it and put it on Caruso. That would look weird. I would feel like Caruso might look like a Wishnick troll, like you'd have in grade school. You put on the end of your pencil and you're writing. And if you're bored in class, you spin it and the hair goes crazy. That would be weird, man. That would be very weird. MSJ saying, I think it's fun how he swears, not at anyone as an insult, but in his hype to win. Becoming clear, Darko is a good one. I think the Raps will indeed come out with fire tonight. I hope so too. Yeah, I'll bet he cusses at the refs sometimes too. So it's not just for fun and celebration. We fucking win, yeah! And he's running around like a crazy man. I love it. I love it so much. Coquette saying our core left over is Pascal and OG. Everyone else is a new addition. What about Chris? Chris Boucher. What about Gary Trent Jr.? What about? I mean, it depends on what core you're talking about. You're talking about the championship core. We do have 3 champs still. Chris for sure. Chris is actually no. Siakam's the longest standing Raptor, but I think no. Chris is third. OG's the second one. Yeah. So it's Pascal, OG, and then Chris, and then we get into people like Gary and stuff like that as being the longest standing Raptors. So yeah, interesting, interesting. I don't know, Cool Cat. I look at it as like if you're really thinking about a core if you talk about a core, meaning like maybe people that have been with us for like 2 or 3 years, you can add Gary and Thad and I don't know if you're meaning like most important players. In some ways you can't add Thad. Then I don't know the criteria. There's a lot of people we have still that have been around for a few years. Let's just put it that way. We're not totally new to each other. There's individual players that are new to it, and even Jakob coming back. He shouldn't be counted as like a totally new player because of his time with us from way back and his time with Siakam from before. So I don't know. I don't know. That it's a weird statement to me that when you say, "Oh, we only have 2 core players back from," I'm like, "What? That doesn't make any sense to me. We have like a core of like 6 guys that have been together for like 2 years, and that doesn't totally make sense to me." Fiercely saying, "I used to be guarded around my daughter, but realized there's no point. I hear her cuss with her friends and my nephews. Oh, well, I'm letting loose now, but not in front of the elderly or work colleagues." It's a time and a place for it. And that's what Rob Van Dam was saying. It was like, look, I understand if you have kids and you don't want me to cuss around your kids, I'll try not to cuss around your kids. And that's very much the way I've had to be around my brother's family is I messed up and I did cuss around his kids and he was not happy about it. So it's really just your audience and who you're around and, showing tact and kind of respecting your people that are in your vicinity and maybe not dropping F bombs. They really don't like us cussing in the arena. They really, really don't. And if they're going to start calling techs on people for profanity on the court, yeah, they definitely don't want the fans yelling F bombs at the court and stuff like that. I don't know. It's weird. It's very, very weird. It's a weird line to straddle. In some ways, I think that the more normalized cussing in society is a symptom of idiocracy and us going to some sort of weird place like that Mike Judge movie. But in some ways, also, I'm like, well, it's also kind of like symptomatic of the relaxing of morals in media and society over time anyway. You think about how things were on TV with what was allowed and what couldn't say. It's changed over time. At a certain point in the 90s, you could start saying ass on TV. And that's that. It's kind of like that. It just happens over time that kind of things kind of relax in that kind of way. In some ways, people will say that's progress. Well, it's more freedom. That's for sure. It's more freedom. You had less from the 50s when people telling you how you had to talk and act and be. You can be more yourself now, which is good. It's a good thing, in my opinion, at least. Country Kong saying, Lex, OG is still returning to good health. Tonight it will be fine as long as he's able to hang with DeMar and hit open threes. but I'm still looking forward to see what he learned from Steph in the summer. How to dribble with two hands, do that stuff he was doing with Steph and Seth Curry this summer. I think you're right. I think that OG's finger is still kind of a little bit not exactly right. His right hand, his shooting hand, and when it feels way better, we're going to see that shooting percentage get over above 500 again. Because right now he's shot since he's come back from the laceration under like he's shooting around 30% right now, and that's not his normal this year. He's been shooting very well this year on overall, and he needs to get back to being like right around 50% or above, and he will. I think you're right, and it's healing more and more every day, and the kind of thing like that is, even though he got stitches, it's kind of like that heals and then boom, it shouldn't be like a lingering issue. It should be over soon. Let's see. Scott B saying, fuck the in-season tournament. Okay. The whole year schedule and refs were designed to fuck the Raptors. League has to cheat for us to lose, and we're still almost 500. Fuck the tournament and fuck Boston. There you go, Scott B. Very strong opinions. You're getting a dunk for being very strong, opinionated here, and also because you got you got a lot of middle fingers up for the right people. Yeah, it is what it is. We just got the 82 game season. We need to win as much as we can. And I'm sure the NBA is not totally happy with where we are with our record. They probably wanted us to be 2 and like 13 at this point. So I'm real happy with where we're at. I'm very, very happy with where we're at. And I want to continue to stay as close to 500. We don't need to go down further. I've been using the submarine analogy this week that if we're in a submarine and 500 is the water, we would stay right near below the water. We don't need to go deep sea diving. No, we don't. We don't need to do that. In fact, we want to emerge from the water and kind of cruise above the water very soon. In fact, if we can get wings on the submarine and start flying it like it's a James Bond submarine up in the air like a plane all of a sudden, and we're going up in the air, yeah, I'll change the submarine into a plane out of the water flying up. We just got to get a couple more winds, get above 500, and then who knows? Maybe we can start cruising at an altitude instead of a depth. And that's what I'm all about. Scott B saying he's developing Lex and rather nicely. I think we can all agree best development in the league. He's ready for his role, and he'll be crucial come end of the season. Look at Pascal. We built him. Are you talking about Malachi? I hope so. I hope you're right. I mean, I hope so. We don't know. MSJ saying, talk to you later, Raptor Streaks. All right, Chris, have a great day. TGIF. Let's go. Let's win this game. David's here. Good to see David Saborin. Bam, 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 bam. Good to see my good friend David. Always happy to see him. Fiercely saying we have few staff that have been with the organization for a while. Dr. McKechnie, Jim Sand, Jamal McGlure, most important, Masai, Bobby, and Teresa. This isn't totally true. There's a lot of people that are with the Raptors for a long, long time that are around for a while. You can think of Herbie. Herbie's been with us since the beginning. You can think of the Raptor. The Raptor has been with our team since the very beginning. You can look at a lot of the announcing staff. There's a lot of people that have been working for the Raptors since the beginning, like Paul Jones and Leo Routens. And then you could even start like talking about behind the scenes people. There's a lot of people that we don't know who are nameless and people that just you don't get any hear about that have been with the team forever. Wayne Embry, another person that's been with our team for over 20 years at this point. So, I mean, there's a lot more continuity in our organization than you realize. You think about Eric Curry. This guy has not been in our team like just recently. He started with them in 2013. So he's moved around in the office. So there's a lot of people. We hang on to good people. Dr. McKechnie, Jim Sand, those are excellent, crazy good people. Jamal McGlure, Toronto Raptors NBA player. Somebody who's important too. So the list is a lot longer than you think. It really is. It really, really is. Country Kong saying Samson mentioned on his podcast that there are 7 opportunities this season for Grady to play with the Raptors and the 905 without traveling. To me, it's imperative that we take those opportunities. Yeah, we've had one of those already, and it kind of annoys me that he didn't take it already. Yeah, I'm with this on this. And it's interesting that Samson's talking about this. That, he thinks that, Grady and the 905 should be mixing with each other. And I agree. I completely agree on that for sure. And yeah, take those opportunities, Raptors, and stop wasting your G League. Seriously, you're wasting your G League right now. Cool Cat saying at Fiercey, that is funny. I'm an auntie, and my nieces and nephews know my potty mouth. They correct me and remind me to never say that. They laugh and say, we know. Raptors games unleash it. Cool Cat said, yeah, it's just like that. Uncle Lex, what did you say? I got to be really careful because they're going to be around me this Christmas and I want to be right. We're going to a game, actually. It's going to be a lot of fun. They're going to make it in time to go to the Utah Jazz game with me on the 23rd. And I'm excited. We got tickets. We're going to go. My folks are coming too, both my parents, my brother and his wife, and my niece and nephew, and Adriana and I will be going to that game, the 8 of us. And it's going to be so much fun to share a Raptors game with my niece and nephew. I've dreamed about going to a Raptors game with them. And apparently my little nephew, Harry, is actually getting into basketball and playing it more. So he's very interested in learning more about the sport. So it looks like I might be able to teach him some things to help him, hopefully, with his young burgeoning basketball career. He's an excellent baseball player. He's already like an all-star in the Atlanta area for his age in baseball in that city. And so he's a natural athlete. I'll be very curious to see how good he can get as a basketball player. So it'd be fun going to the game with my niece and nephew. And I got to remember not to cuss. I don't cuss in the arena anymore anyway. I used to cuss a lot at games back in the day. But I really am trying to follow the rules of conduct because I don't want to get banned from that building ever. Ever. It'd be the worst thing in the world. Y'all used to tell me to go streaking during Raptors games. Lex, go down there and streak. I'm like, y'all, I don't want to be lifetime banned from the building that I love and that I want to come see Raptors games in. So I am trying to follow the codes of conduct that they put forth with Strizzy in the middle of the game. And it's like, this is our house. It's all everybody's house. And you be nice to everybody. And yeah, they don't want profanity. So I'm trying to listen and trying not to do it. So yeah, that's awesome. And Fiercely saying, hang on, this is funny. That's funny, Cool Cat. It is funny. It's interesting when you're like an uncle or aunt instead of like the parent. Yeah, things are a little bit different there. And Cool Cat knows what I'm talking about. Fiercey's laughing. Cool Cat saying at Fiercey, I've given them the job to come correct and scold their auntie. That's right. See, you're doing a good bad example for them so that they can learn how not to be like. I've done that too. I've very much been that black sheep kind of person in my family that's given a very good bad example to people about how not to do things in certain ways. Yeah, Fiercey's laughing. Yes, yes. All right, Monique's brought up an interesting thing that I realized this the other day. I kind of figured this already, but I didn't know for sure. And it kind of been confirmed recently. Monique's saying, your thoughts. Terrence Ross thinking about retiring at 32. I think because teams don't want him but it's weird. All right, I'm going to say this right now. Terrence Ross is an amazingly talented guy. Terrence Ross is a great Raptor. He's somebody who won dunk championships with us. He has a 50-point game against the Clippers for the Raptors. It's amazing. Magic fans love him too. He's very much a Magic legend, just like a Raptors legend. Now, Terrence Ross is a very interesting player. He's supremely talented as a person, but at some point, his drive as a player kind of went down. And in some ways, that is part of the reason why, even though he's 32 and he probably has some good more years in it, he doesn't care. He's a perfect example of somebody who made a bunch of money in the league and is really in good shape financially, and that's all they wanted. And the drive for him to be in the league at this point is over. In some ways, he doesn't care. He doesn't care enough. And in some ways, you have to have that competitive spirit to show up and compete. But no, he's got all the money in the world. He's fine. He's good. He could retire in his early 30s and live a very, very happy life on Twitch, hanging out, playing video games, and being with his family. I don't hate on that. In some ways, his edge of the sword has been dulled. That his competitive spirit is dulled with money. And that in some ways he's not worth it. Obviously, like the Suns have so many kind of end of the bench players for the minimum because of their roster build with this Beal and Booker and Durant and all the money invested in those top guys that, they could give Terrence Ross a minimum vet contract and he could show up and do that. But in some ways it's not worth it to him. I would wonder. It's like, here, you got to do the travel. You got to go around. Yeah, but I've already got all this money. And like, what does it matter? In some ways, Monique, that's what it is. The will to compete and be at the highest level and play the best that he can is gone because his edge is gone because he's rich and he's fine. He's set for life. and he won dunk championships. He has a successful NBA career. He's got all the money in the world for his generations of his family. So in some ways, the drive is just not there, Monique. That's one thing that people got to remember too, is that players at one point in their career do not always stay the same player as they go on. And sometimes money ruins players. Like they just don't have the drive or the will or anymore. And I think that's the case with Terrence. I love Terrence. Terrence is awesome. I've watched him on Twitch. I've interacted with him on Twitch, just like Scotty. And he's a cool dude. And I really do respect him and love him as a Raptors alumni. But the competitive edge to play in the NBA, get up and travel and do everything the NBA takes, he doesn't care about that. It's obvious. If he really, really did, he'd bust his ass and he'd be on another team. So it's on him. It's not on anybody else but Terrence Ross. The drive is gone, Monique. That's what it is. That's what it is right there. Fiercely saying, you're right. I'm missing people. Cafeteria, I'm sure. Guest services. Oh, yeah. I know that the cafeteria people, the food and beverage people like Sadie Campbell up in 300 levels, has been working for the MLSE, the Maple Leafs, since I would say almost the early 80s, maybe even the late 70s. And she worked for the Leafs in Maple Leaf Gardens way before. There's some of the older ladies that work in the concession stand that have been working for the organization since the 70s, just so you know. There were ladies that I worked with around 99 when I worked there that had worked for the Leafs when they won the Stanley Cup. That's how old some of these ladies were. They were in their 80s. And they were selling popcorn and in the stands and using the computers. They didn't like the computers because they had cash registers and they did all the math in their head. And then when they had the computers at the Air Canada Center, when they moved from Maple Leaf Gardens in 1998, 99, that they hated it. They hated the computers. They hated the basketball team because they only worked hockey games. And the Raptors crowd was weird to them, and they were a little racist, some of them too. And it's weird. There are very long-standing people there because it's a lot of unions. Like all those ushers, security guards, all the concession workers are all union workers, and you stay long-term when you're in a union job. You can stick around for a long time. So a lot of the support staff in the arena were not just working there when I worked there 20 years ago, around 2000. They were working there even before that, like 10 years before that, 30 years before, 40 years before that. So yeah, there's a lot of staff that's been around there for a long, long time. Coquette saying retirement is based on the market requiring your services. He can try Europe to extend his career. He doesn't care. He doesn't need to play right now. He's playing Twitch. Twitch is his life now. In some ways, it's a weird. You got to want it. This league still has a certain level. You got to want it over just pure talent. And if you're kind of ho-hum about it and it's just like, they will say, okay, you're not as serious about your career anymore. You know what? We don't need you. And nobody's got a job for you. And boom, you're at home playing Twitch. I don't feel sorry for Terrence. He's perfectly happy with this. I mean, what's not to like? The dude gets to sit at home, play video games all day, enjoy time with his family, and he has millions and millions of dollars. So yeah, it doesn't matter. He can retire at 32. He's very, very successful. Stargate saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Let's see how it goes against Chicago today. Anyone heard Chuck Swirsky's interview on Smith and Jones podcast recently? I heard that he did that show, and so did Alvin. Alvin was on Smith and Jones this week. I don't listen to their podcast. There's so much content that I go through regularly. And in some ways, I'm not paying attention to Samson Folk's podcast. I don't watch the Raptors show unless Dennis is on it. If Dennis is on it, I'll watch it because I want to hear what Dennis has to say straight from his mouth. But otherwise, I don't give a shit what these other people are saying. Smith and Jones is okay because they get really good guests. And I highly recommend it as something to watch, but I just don't have the time. And I love Paul Jones and Eric Smith. Don't get me wrong. They're good Raptors media people. And I highly recommend anybody watch it. But no, I didn't watch it. So you might have to tell me what was said. We know Chuck loves our city. We know Chuck really does love Toronto a lot. And Chuck is an important part of our history. We do love Chuck a lot. Fiercely saying, retiring at 32, is he injured? If not, I agree with Mo. Nobody wants him. By the way, anyone know where Will Barton is? He in some ways the league had made the decision for him. He made the decision for himself on the down low also. I mean, it's kind of been going this way for a while with Terrence. You think about his last couple of years in Orlando, he was not one of their main players. He wasn't even in the rotation at times. He would be sitting outside the rotation on the bench as an older vet, even at around 30 years old. That's crazy. And now, like, since he went to Phoenix and they did so much stuff with that team there, it's like he's not necessary in any kind of way. And if his drive and his will as a professional isn't there anymore and they see it, they're like, well, Terrence is kind of checked out. It's like he's not giving the effort that he should right now because he's set, he's comfortable. That's part of it. It's right there. You guys get comfortable and they lose their edge. And I love Terrence. It's nothing against him. It's human nature to be that way. It's like, oh, I got more money. I'm happier. You know, in some ways, I don't really feel that drive that Jalen Suggs does to get angry and pissed off because I have nothing to prove. That's part of it right there. I don't know where Will Barton is. And he was on our team last year, and he has a music career. Maybe he's working on his next album. But yeah, he's not in the league. Blackhawk saying at Cool Cat, hey, Auntie, in my best Killmonger voice. I don't know who Killmonger is. Hey, Monty, is he a villain in Batman or something? Killmonger? I'm not even sure who that is. That's what my guess is. Cool Cat saying Will Barton is not on a team either. Also, Terrence Davis is not on a team either. He's a free agent and no team signed him. Baller career is not given. Have to respect it. This league, it's not even just about being good enough to play in the league. It's about fitting in with the league. It's about like the right timing. It's about team needs and not needing. You could go drafted to a team that really doesn't need you and it fucks your career up. And you don't get to play a very long career because you didn't even get a chance. You know, there's nothing guaranteed in this league. And that's why I tell these young men on our team like Scotty, go and take it because nothing's guaranteed. You need to go take shit in the league. That's what this league's all about. You want to be in the league, go take your spot, Marquise Noel. You want to be a most improved player this year, Scott? Go and fucking prove it and you'll win this award. You have to take shit in this league and you can't wait around and just be lackadaisical about it because there's going to be somebody else in the league that works harder than you and wants it more than you if you don't yourself. Terrence Davis has baggage in other ways. And maybe on the download, they're like, okay, we're not going to do this to Miles Bridges. But you know what, Terrence? You're blacklisted because in some ways you had two chances. You went to Toronto. It didn't work out. You went to Sacramento. And, well, you had your chance there. And, well, this is the NBA. In some ways, we don't want your baggage around because we have enough of these guys right now. You're not at the right cusp of talent and what you're contributing to the Sacramento Kings. It's like, well, see you, bye. It doesn't outweigh your bag because you all collect bags. It's like Stunted Growth talks about this on his YouTube channel all the time, that players collect bags on them, like descriptors or characteristics or reputations. And that's the thing. You carry too many negative bags on one side, the positive bags don't outweigh it, then you're out of the fucking league. And Terrence Davis, you can't afford to get domestic violence charges like Miles Bridges because you're not as good as him. That's kind of part of it right there in some ways. It's like Terrence Davis, you really needed to be good after you caught charges to stay in the league because in some ways the league wants you out because you're a black eye. So it is sad, but true. And that's why as players, you need to be professional, keep yourself out of trouble so you don't get more of those negative bags that Stunted Growth talks about. Whether it's not listening to people, you look at James Wiseman and the baggage that he's picked up from his failures in Golden State. And he's getting labeled with stuff. And he's trying to still keep his career going. Justice Winslow got baggage from being a party animal in Miami and screwing up his career. He's trying to come back from the negative bags he accumulated from being stupid during his career and not taking it serious enough. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. Let's see. Stargate saying Terrence Ross was a pretty good scorer off the bench in Orlando. What's going on with him? He's sitting at home playing video games. He's sitting at home in video games. And honestly, don't suggest we should get him because he'll show up and he doesn't care anymore. The competitive drive in him to play in the NBA is not there anymore. It's just not there. You have to have it to compete at the highest level in the NBA. And if you don't have it anymore, well, go home and play video games then. Cool Cat saying all my nieces and nephews are Raptors and Pascal fans. They all have his jersey. They know our chants. I took them to the games and they were chanting. The crowd joined in. Yep, they get the crowd hyped. I love it. Cool Cat is raising or teaching young Raptor freaks, young, good future Raptor fans, and teach them right. to respect Siakam and how to do the cheers correctly. I love that, Cool Cat. You keep going with that. The future is bright because Cool Cat has awesome nieces and nephews. All right, we're going to give Cool Cat a dunk for taking care of the future. That's right. Country Kong saying, Lex, let's bring T. Ross home. I knew somebody was going to say this. After this all, he can spread the floor for Scotty and Pascal. However, I'm highly curious. I watch Twitch sometimes, and I do see T. Ross there quite often. I wonder if GMs don't like that. Well, this is the other thing. In some ways, Ross is getting into that Jeff T. Gilbert Arenas area of being outspoken on opinions about the NBA. And it could be very well that in some ways he's not totally welcome back because he said some things. I don't think any of them were really bad myself. But in some ways, he's been more open about lifting the veil of secrecy and privacy about the league, like Jeff Teague would or Gilbert Arenas on their podcast. And in some ways, that may not be totally liked in some ways. So I don't know. In some ways, he's awesome. He's a nice guy. But once again, I don't think he has the will to want to compete in the NBA at this point. And that is the biggest problem with him in any kind of way, being on any kind of team. Is if he's just not had the will or he's not going to do it or he doesn't care, why would we waste time with him? So I think this is a non-starter. It's an interesting suggestion. And if it had been Ross before he got saddled down with all that big time money and he, kind of lost, what he cares about, I would say, yeah, he'd be a great addition because he's a very good dead-eye three-point shooter when he's dialed in and he cares. But in some ways, I'll bet you right now he's out of shape. I'll bet you right now he's not mentally anywhere near trying to be a professional because he's just let go of that. He's like living free and he's happy. He's happy. That's the other thing. He's very happy right now. And in some ways, he doesn't want to screw that up. So he doesn't have to do jack shit. He really doesn't. He doesn't have to do jack shit. Stargate saying it was, he's bringing up Amber Ross. Okay. It was when he was smashing Amber Rose. All went downhill for him from there. I don't know if that's totally true because that was a long time ago and he was on the Raptors at that time. And he did go to Orlando and he played at a high level for Orlando for quite a while. His career is quite long already, if you think about it. His time with us was in the early 2010s. And he spent like half his time with us and half his time with Orlando. And yeah, I don't know. That was a misstep for sure. Amber Rose, he looks kind of like Wiz Khalifa. That totally makes sense. Amber Rose has a type, obviously. Yeah, Blackhawks laughing at Stargate about the Amber Rose reference. Yeah, she had to come up. We were talking about Terrence Ross. Stargate saying he smashed and crashed. No, that's a Cool Cat saying that. He smashed and crashed. It is whatever. It was a little bit of infamy for him. He did kind of get more notoriety because of that high profile relationship, even if it was a weird short one. Blackhawks saying, I'd be comfortable too if I had millions. Yeah, he doesn't just have some millions. This guy's got like 70, 80, 90 million dollars or something like that. The dude is really, really rich. And you know what? He's also smart. This is one of the things he said in the interview recently. He said, I'm not out there buying crazy amounts of cars. I'm not buying things like crazy. I'm really managing my wealth smart so that I can really live a comfortable life the way I want to. And I'm happy. This is true. A lot of these young guys come in the league and they get so much money, they waste it on stupid shit, crazy ass things they're buying. They have no business buying. Well, Ross is fine wearing a t-shirt, living in an ordinary house and just having pretty nice things, but he doesn't need to go buy the absolute best things and be crazy. I watched that Cardi and Scotty footage from yesterday that got released about Scotty getting the picture from Draw Canada or Draw the North or something, and then the different gifts for him. And he's talking about Cardi getting like a Louis Vuitton collar and clothing. And I'm like, that's cool. Spoil your dog. You don't have any kids, and go ahead. But in some ways, Terrence Ross would never buy that expensive ass shit for his dogs. No, he's saving his money. He's saving his money. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. I love that clip with Scotty about Cardi too. That's a fantastic clip. And it's very cute. And I know y'all have watched it. You'll probably watched it a couple times. So cute, Scotty and his Cardi love. This is so cute. All right, let's see. Fiercely saying Killmonger equals the villain in Black Panther, portrayed by Michael B. Jordan. Thanks for you know what? I saw that movie once in the theater way back, and I have not seen the sequels. I remember the name now. Okay, so that's that character, and I do remember that character in that movie. All right, I knew it was like a superhero character. I thought it was in Batman for some reason. I was getting Bane confused with him, but that's okay. That makes sense. And I do remember Michael B. Jordan's performance in the original Black Panther was very good. Like he was very, very villainous, very villainous. Let's see. Cool Cat saying basketball career is a grind, and you have to be working out and play hard and market yourself to have a long career. It just occurred to me that Fred and Pascal could have only one more contract. Yeah, you never know. And in some ways, basketball career spans are on average are going shorter at this point because so many of the young players are not prepared to be in the league fundamentally right. They flame out and they get kicked out. So if I was looking at this like I would in demography at life expectancy with mortality, this is a totally different world. The life expectancy of an NBA player's career has gone down over years. It's not increasing. LeBron James is absolutely an outlier that somebody gets to 21 years in the NBA. There's nobody getting to 20 years in the NBA after him, probably for a long, long time, because it just doesn't happen. You can see people like Thad Young, Kyle Lowry, they're in their 17th season. Do you think they're going to get to 20 seasons? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. And then you have guys that come in as like first round picks, top level picks, and they just don't do well. And they crap out within 4 years of coming into the year. I'm telling you, NBA career spans are going down in age. Not as long. I don't know what the average NBA career is right now, but I would guess it's probably about 4 or 5 years, y'all. Seriously, if you average out every single player in the league, now maybe back in the day it was more like 7 or 8 years, the average NBA player. But now it's more like 4 or 5 years. That's what you get in this league. And nothing is guaranteed. You have to keep earning it. And that's right. Fred's not going to play forever. This big contract that Fred's on, he may get one more after this, and that's it. That is it. Because honestly, he's going to be closer than to 35 by that time and over 35. And he's not as good as Kyle to stay around as long. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that right now. Fred cannot expect to play as long as Kyle has. He will not probably. So I could say Fred maybe has under 5 years left in his career. Seriously. I want to talk about Siakam because he's different. Siakam's got amazing level of conditioning and physicalness that he could last a lot longer because he's more like LeBron in that kind of way. So let's see. Cool Cat saying having a long career like Kyle and DeMar is not a given. You really have to market yourself and keep improving your skills. Exactly. DeMar coming to town tonight. Oh man, it's gonna be fun to see this game tonight. I hope we win. I really do. Let's see. Mo's saying, sorry for making T. Ross such a hot topic. Wow. No, I love it. Mo. I'm glad you brought him up. In fact, I was wanting to talk about him this whole week. I kept forgetting. So I'm so happy that you brought him up because he is somebody that I don't like normally think about with the Raptors, but he is Raptors history and he is pertinent to our channel. So no problem with what you did. I'm glad you brought him up because I have been wanting to talk about him and I kept forgetting. So you reminded me. Thank you, Monique. Cool Cat saying Terrence Ross would end up influencing Scotty to play more. He already played with him on Twitch. Nope, wrong influence to have around young Scotty. That's right. We don't want casuals. We want serious shit like Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder is very serious about being a professional, and Terrence Ross is not. And that is a very good point by Cool Cat. They played that one game. They had that one game that one summer. And they were supposed to do a series of best of 7. Scotty beating Terrence Ross in game 1 of their head-to-head 2K battle, coming back from behind to beat him too. And there was a lot of fun shit talk. That clip should still be up on his YouTube site, Terrence Ross versus Scotty. If you want to watch what happened, it should be on one of Scotty's 2 YouTube channels. Still up, yeah. Blackhawk saying, tell T. Ross I can be his professional chauffeur, dog walker, gardener, and pool guy for a modest $175 per hour. Well, Blackhawk, that sounds like such a fantastic deal. I think he will do those things for himself just to save the money. At least that's what it sounded like from his interview. And he's not lazy in that kind of way. He's lazy that it takes a lot to be an NBA player and it's a grind. And maybe he's sick of traveling and doing all that. All right, I see that I've gotten to the end of the comments, so I'm going to go ahead and switch gears and see what else there is for me to talk about real quick that I may have not talked about. They have a rookie ranking that came out this week. with it's the statistical ranking with the rating and the games played, stuff like that. And our guy Grady is actually ranked 21st out of all the rookies as it stands right now. He is above people like Scoot Henderson, Amon Thompson, Jerace Walker, and Prosper from the Mavericks. So very interesting that Grady has a higher rookie ranking than Scoot, Amon, and Prosper. Very interesting. Number one of right now is Chet Holmgren with Victor in second. So yeah, there that's kind of interesting to see that. Let's do the Raptors Instagram check. Mr. New York City celebrating a coach on the sidelines of the K-State football game. Happy birthday to him. He's saying grateful for everything that I have and everything that I am becoming. You keep becoming things, Marquise Noel. We believe in you, and I want to see you heart over height this league into huge success. You are the man. We need a backup point guard. Please become that. We need a backup point guard. You could be that guy, seriously. And then there's a cool picture of Marquise looking chill in a blue hat with some sunglasses on in his phone. You go, Marquise Noel. Hopefully, we'll see you in action tomorrow for the 905 against Capital City Go-Go. Capital City Go-Go versus 905 tomorrow. I'll have a preview for that and a reaction for the game tonight for the Raptors. We got Pascal with his nephew, Boris Siakam's son, is very proud of Siakam, and there's a picture of Boris on his, I guess it's his birthday or something. It says 1 year, a difference 1 year can make. Oh man, that Siakam's nephew sprouted up in the last year. It looks like he grew a foot because he's up over his shoulder now. He's below his shoulder last year. Love to see, when we're talking about uncles and aunts today, we see Uncle Siakam with his nephew, Boris's son. And that's awesome. I love seeing that, Siakam. You look like you're a fun uncle. And yeah, that kid is growing quick. And honestly, like Siakam's 6'8". That kid looks like he's over 6 foot. He may be like at least 6'2", maybe something like that. And there's Siakam had a photo drop yesterday. He's saying, even though my plate is full, I can't complain. It's everything that I prayed for on American Thanksgiving. That's right. Siakam is very, very, very happy with his life, and he needs to keep working. Your plate is full. Keep filling it up and keep doing that work. Precious looking like he's on the cover of a Vogue magazine with the style and the fashion. He's wearing a green jacket with an orange jumpsuit, and he's got some sort of green wallet around his neck. Precious, you are a style icon. You do art. You are in the line of Ibaka. That's right. Dennis is promoting his vlog for Orlando and Indiana games on his Instagram. Definitely watch that clip. Always good stuff on their channels, of course. And then he's got the last day of the Atelier Drip sale, the Black Friday super sale. So you better get it on your Atelier Drip if you want that cologne from Dennis for the sale on Black Friday. Let's see what else is going on. He's got a nice picture of them at the coast for Thanksgiving. And basically, Dennis is saying this is like every day, I'm thankful for everything I have. 3 beautiful kids, the best wife in the entire world, my family back in Germany. Can't ask for more in my life. Healthiness is the biggest thing. I love you, Ellen Schroeder. It's a beautiful picture too. He's got Amalia on his shoulders, and his wife's carrying little Bubba Schroeder, and then Junior Schroeder is behind them walking on the beach. That is not Lake Ontario, though. I know that's a picture from LA because they're wearing short sleeves. It's definitely not here in recent. No, it's not. Let's see. Thad Young is saying happy Thanksgiving to everybody from Reform Transportation, of course, his company. Thad, I hope you feel better, man. And then he's got a cool picture of him with his kids. Thaddeus, you don't look totally sick. I'll just say that. I would wonder about this with that because I know his wife, Shakina, is very, very afraid of the COVID pandemic. And listen, I'm going to theorize something real quick. And it's totally like, I don't care because it's Thad. First of all, Thaddeus Young is a longtime player. He's been in this league for a long time. But his wife is very worried about the pandemic. She's constantly posting stats and things about how many cases there are in Ontario. And she's always talking about people not wearing their masks on airplanes. She's always talking about being worried about getting the pandemic. In fact, I've seen her sitting behind the Raptors bench at games with like 3 or 4 seats not next to her. Like she don't want nobody sitting near her at the arena either. And she's wearing masks. She's being very protective. I could Brian Winters this shit right now that the Raptors, This is the one of the dangerous times of the year that we found from the last couple of years with pandemic shit for catching the COVID because it's Thanksgiving weekend. This happened last year and the year before. It's a super spreader week. And in some ways, I know she hates being in airports and airplanes. And maybe she was like, I don't know, he may have been really sick, but maybe she's like, please, do you not have to go on this trip? Because this is the week where everybody's going to be catching COVID. If they're going to catch COVID, if they're running around and stuff. He probably was sick already and he just conveniently missed the trip. But there is a really interesting factor in this as far as like, did he not go on the trip partly because of his wife's concerns about COVID being and Thanksgiving being a super spreader event of so many people being in airports, going every which way to go to people's houses across the country? Brian Winters. Either way, it's inconsequential to a degree because it's Thaddeus. And in some ways, Thaddeus is an old head vet. In some ways, I don't care if he doesn't show up for games to an extent. If this is a more important player, I'd be concerned about this. But otherwise, I'm going to just say he's legitimately sick. But I'm also thinking, is this something to do with it? His wife's really, really morbid fear of the COVID pandemic and worrying for him. You know, in some ways, I don't have a problem with any of this. And I'm not being critical of them at all. In fact, I like how serious she takes this pandemic. In fact, people should be more like Shakina. Let's just put it that way. And realize this shit is still going on. And in some ways, we need to be protecting ourselves still. So I was wondering about this. It struck me that Thad didn't even go on this trip at all. He just stayed here in Toronto with his family this whole entire week while those guys went to Orlando and Indiana. So I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But that was an interesting thing because in the picture, it looks like he looks pretty good. Like he's standing there with his family. This may be an old picture. I'm telling you, Thad Young Jr. is a blue chipper. He's coming up, man. That kid's going to be really good. Malachi putting on blast, him getting the chain, of course, on his Instagram stories from a couple different people's. And he's even showing the hug between Pascal and Scotty at the end of the game. Let's see. Ron Harper Jr. celebrating the Giants win with a rookie quarterback, Tommy DeVito. So he's a big Giants fan. You can tell that. And let's see. Nav, I don't see DR DeRozan on your Instagram story, so I'm happy. There you go. There's your Raptors Instagram check for today. Very, very interesting stuff. Very, 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 very interesting stuff. Yeah. All right, let me see what else y'all have been saying now that you put in filled it up a little bit more for me. I don't mind doing 2 hours at least. Let's see. Fiercey's laughing at Blackhawk manifesting. You know, when you ask these players if you'll do these things, you may get a weird response. Like the time when I told Scotty I'd be his personal photographer if he needed someone. He's like, Max can't do this. He's in school. He can't travel around with me. I guess he gave up on Max producing video clips for him because that shit ain't happening. And Max has got his own life or something. And Scotty's like, man, if I could have somebody like come around and document my life, that'd be awesome. I say, Scott, I'll do that. And this guy's like, Raptor Street? Really? He's like, wait, Raptor Street, how old are you? And he asked me, and I was like, I'm 47. And he's like, yeah, I don't want some old guy following me around, taking pictures of me. That just sounds crazy. And everybody started laughing. And that's just it. You know what, Raptor Street, you're awesome. That's when he called me the GOAT in that clip on my channel. But yeah, if you ask these guys to do this, you may get a weird response. I know from personally asking Scotty, yeah, I'll go and come take pictures of you. You don't have to charge. I won't pay. You don't have to pay me. I'll just do it, Scott, just to be helpful to you. Yeah, it's creepy having a middle-aged man follow me. I'm not about that. Is basically what he said. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Blackhawk's just being opportunistic when he can. I was doing the same thing. I'm not trying to charge him, though. I just want to be helpful to Scott in his life. And I'm not even that good. I'm a good photographer. I shouldn't slight it. I have a good framing and vision, but I'm not like professional. I would just come down there and do it. Blackhawk saying, hey, just being opportunistic. Yeah, right on, Fiercey. Fiercey saying, I'm surprised Scoot isn't ranked higher than Grady. Isn't he a starter for Portland? Or is his stats weak? I don't follow them, so I don't know. Well, this is totally based on stats. So yeah, his stats must be weak because he's below Grady with his stats. That's the thing. These rankings take into account only stats. They're not taking anything into account, biases or anything. They're just looking at the stat numbers and they're analyzing. This is the same stat system they used to analyze the FIBA World Cup this summer when we saw SGA up there with Luka and those guys on those rankings. It's the same kind of style, except this one has the rookies for the NBA season. And Grady's number 21, and he's above Scoot Henderson, which is really weird. It's very weird. Very, very weird. Yeah. Let's see. Blackhawks saying, did 905 get a new coach yet? No, they didn't fire their coach. They're continuing with him. They're going to stick it out with him, I guess. I don't expect them to fire him, even though I want them to. I really don't expect them to. I expect them to, they're probably just going to keep him for this year, but hopefully he will never, ever head coach ever again, unless it's like a kids' league. He doesn't even need to be head coach in high school, honestly, in some ways. Shaq Lindsay saying Gary Trent is hurt and hurting the team. Even though we need the shooting, we should rest him at least until a month before the trade deadline. Boston did that with Kristaps Porzingis. I think that we need to maybe I don't know. We need to handle him lightly. In some ways, we need him out there for spacing really badly, but also at the same time, you're right. We should kind of maybe hold him out if he's hurt and he can hurt us because he's not playing at optimal level. I don't know. This is something that they know on a more day to day, minute by minute, hour by hour basis with him and talking to him and communicating with him and how he's feeling. And I'll bet you that they gauge how much of the minutes and when he's going to come in off of these kind of things. So it really is that the Darko and the coaches just need to be communicative with him and how he's feeling, and maybe even watch him and shoot around and see like, oh yeah, Gary's lift isn't still there. His lift is gone. That's the thing that's really worrying me. He has no lift. He's not able to get any off the ground. You see when he lays up, he's very much not jumping. He's on the ground and just kind of laying it up. And that's why he's getting blocked. So I'm worried about him as far as like his lift is gone. He's missing a certain spring in his step that he normally would have. Cool Cat saying, imagine Schroeder is 11th in his 11th year in the NBA. Hard to think 11 years already at age 30. He can last a long time in the NBA too. Still very athletic. He learned the secrets from LeBron. Seriously, this is one of the things about Dennis that's awesome. He plays with LeBron and the Lakers, and he sees LeBron's preparation and how he takes care of his body. And he's stealing it. He's very much using the ice technique after practice every single time. Every single time Dennis practices or does a game, for sure, he takes this ice treatment that is patented by LeBron James. This is something he saw LeBron do. He's exactly mimicking the ice treatment that LeBron does to get him to 21 years. So you tell me if Dennis is smart or not. Yeah, he's stealing the best things that LeBron has done to keep his longevity and using them for himself. And I'm going to tell you this right now. It's not easy because that means he's got to put ice on his knees every single fucking day. Every single fucking day he's putting ice on his knees, and he has to be dedicated to it and want to do it. It's not fun. It hurts to a degree to have that cold on you. It's not totally fun, but he's doing it for his long term, and he's smart for it. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why he bounces back. And in some ways, we've seen him have ankle issues at times this season. Well, have they lingered or stuck around? No, because he's learned from the greatest longevity player in the history of the NBA, the guy who never ever got hurt in 21 years, LeBron James. See, you can steal that proprietary stuff when you're a teammate of people like that, like Kawhi and LeBron. You get a lot of good information on how the best are absolutely the best. So yeah, that's a big part of it right there. It's Cool Cat. He's using LeBron's techniques. Monique is saying Scoot back in the G League, apparently. Laugh out loud. And some Raptors fans wanted him. Get the fuck out. Monique's getting a dunk. You're so awesome when you're feisty, Monique. I love that. That is exactly right. That's exactly right. Shaking my head. Y'all just wanted the alliterative Scotty and Scooty thing. Scotty and Scooty. Scotty and Scooty. Well, he was hurt and he was out. And he didn't really play a whole lot in the NBA so far. So his NBA stats are not that good so far. So it's true. And he is doing a G League rehab stint with a Rip City remix. Yeah, Rip City. Cool Cat saying Pascal needs to add three-point shooter to have longevity in the league. Yeah, that would help. That would definitely help. The more complete he can be. I think that he's on track to be long-term, though, anyway. It really is the way he takes care of his body and the exceptional level of conditioning he has is really going to be something that keeps him around a long time. Stargate saying, I remember when Dennis was drafted and played for Atlanta. Yeah, I always thought of him as a little punk. I didn't even know he was German when he first showed up. When I found out that Dennis Schroeder was German, I was like, what? He's German? He speaks German? I didn't catch that connection for a while. And, the more I learn about Dennis, it's like, man, I was so wrong about him. I think that a lot of Raptors fans have realized that this year. That, like, there's a whole perception of Dennis and who he is. His reputation can precede him. And not in a positive way. And some people are like, well, and when you finally actually get to know him, you watch his YouTube channel, you see how he carries himself as a professional. You're like, holy shit, I was totally wrong about this guy. I see these quotes on Twitter all the time. Raptors fans like, holy crap, do I have to like Dennis now? Holy crap, why do I like Dennis all of a sudden? Holy crap, Dennis isn't who I thought he was. There's a lot of that going on in Raptors Twitter right now with people amending their opinions on Dennis Schroeder because they hated him, looked at him as a villain for years, looked at him as like another level of Patrick Beverly. And no, he's much more than that. And he's actually an exceptional teammate and exceptional professional. And I like that. I like that a lot. Let's see. Cool Cat. Yep. Yep. And yep. And Blackhawks saying, no way, super fan. No way, super fan. Wait. Where was it? Oh, okay. Wow. It jumped. Hang on. No way, super fan. Did they really send Scoot down? They had to because Scoot was hurt. And it's just, it makes sense. When people come back from injury, they should go play in the G League to warm up to be ready to come back for the full time Trailblazers. So, yeah, it makes sense. And that was pointed out by people in our Facebook chat, Morgan in particular. That, well, he's doing an injury rehab. Of course, he can go down the G League. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not above a third pick in the draft to play on a G League, even though he played for G League Ignite and he was already in the G League for a couple of years before this year. It's kind of easier to put him down there. But still, I'm just saying, these guys get hurt. It's like baseball. Give them assignments at the lower level to get ready to come up to the bigger level. It's just smart. It's just smart. Let's see. Caddy Pants here. Good to see Caddy Pants. It's been a little while. Is your name like a litter box? I'm trying to figure this out. Not even Kai Jones wants to come to the Raptors. Who said that? Who asked Kai Jones that anyway? Nobody asked him to come to the Raptors. Listen, you're going to get a strike. I'm watching you, Caddy Pan. Do we need the GOAT, Kai Jones? Probably not. He's a knucklehead. Nobody needs him on our team. You think we need cast-offs from the Hornets? Fuck that shit. We don't want him. And who are you, Caddy Pan? You sound like cats pee in you. That's what you sound like. You sound like something that cats pee in. Like, do you make little clusters of like litter and dookie? Is that what's inside you? I'm trying to wonder about this right now. Stargate saying with the flat top and the blonde streak. Yeah, that's gone. Maybe the blonde streak is a symptom of him maturing and like really at the highest level of evolution as Dennis Schroeder in the NBA. Is this blonde streak's gone? The wilder, younger, more, maybe not as, I don't know what the right word is for it, immature. The younger and more immature Dennis Schroeder, not as professional, is gone. And the white streak in his hair symbolizes it. And he's evolved like a Pokemon to the next level of Dennis Schroeder. That's right. These guys get better over their career, and Dennis has evolved to the next level. Share mine, share lizard or whatever. He's fucking, he's at some new level of Blastoise or something. I don't fucking know Pokemon. You know what I'm fucking talking about. Let's see. Caddy Pants saying, I don't think Zach LaVine wants to be a Raptor. Well, I don't think anybody wants to hang out with you because you smell like cat piss. How about that? How about that? Just let's drop something. I don't care if I think Zach LaVine would be happy playing for us, but I don't know if we want him either. Zach LaVine is hurt and he may not be playing today. That's the injury news, y'all. The Bulls injury news is Zach LaVine is questionable today. So yeah, you're questionable, Caddy Pan, with your little dookie clusters in the corner there. We put you in another room because you smell. That's right, Caddy Pan. Gross. Oh, you smell like ammonia. Blackhawk saying, have you heard Kia Jones's laugh? Toronto is the least of his worries. Kai Jones' laugh. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why this person came in here and told us these are people who don't want to come to Canada. Wishes he's in the second. Zach LaVine would play for Toronto. Don't get it twisted. Caddy Pan with your little dookie clusters of knowledge or whatever you're fucking saying here. You just put a little more little poops out of your mouth and put it in our chat, please. Please. We love the smell of your gross stank piss, man. Golly. All right, let's keep going. Shaq Lindsay saying, yeah, we dodged a bullet from Scoot. Yeah, I told y'all this. I did not believe in Scoot Henderson the whole time. He's just muscles. And I'm like, this dude does not add up to winning. He's not fundamentally good as a player. He's just a really good athlete stud. And in some ways, I'm passing because I don't like that. I don't like that. Yeah. Yeah. Fiercely saying, not Lex, the creep. The creep. Oh, Cool Cat saying, I was thinking that for how short the ball career is, I could see why young players trying to shorten college career due to wear and tear. Well, this is the thing. Back in the day, Players wanted to skip the college because they would get worried they get hurt in college and it would ruin their chances to be in the NBA. And that's a big part of the reason why a lot of these guys jumped college and went straight from high school, like Kobe and Tracy and Kevin Garnett. You know, and then they shorten it, and now most people just do one and done at this point because it really is something like they're worried about that. But it's really been bad for the quality of the basketball in the NBA. The NBA product has gotten worse as the younger players that are inexperienced and not fundamentally good play more and more in this league. It looks uglier. There's more missed shots. There's more turnovers. There's more basic, unfundamental basketball happening. And that's part of the side product of this. And sure, they worry about injury taking away their careers and earning millions of dollars. So they want to get there as quickly as possible. Definitely. Caddy Pan saying Denny Avija would be a great fit for the Raptors. I don't know. Why are you putting this on us? You're like saying these people wouldn't be, but this person would be. Hmm. I'm suspicious of you, litter box. I am. I'm very suspicious of you. Something smells wrong. Monique saying, Blackhawk, I saw something about like that about Scoot. You know, listen. In some ways, he's like I said, he's such a good athlete that just mesmerizes people. In some ways, he has a unique frame that nobody's ever seen, and that doesn't mean it makes him better. You can look at him, and he's small for his position, and then you see Victor, and you're like, "Whoa!" That in some ways, I can get behind Victor because he's like 7'5". And Scoot, they're all hyping him up in the same kind of way as Victor last year. And I'm like, no, this is a totally different kind of player. And he's not going to have the kind of impact that Victor Wembanyama has. And they're even trying to argue that maybe Scoot should be the number one pick. And I'm like, no, what drugs are you guys on? And they must be really good for you to think that Scoot Henderson should be picked number one over Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. All right, let's see. Cool Cat is saying, I wonder if our team stayed in Florida after the game for Thanksgiving or they came back to Toronto right away. They may have given them options. It could very well be that they weren't in Florida though. They were in Indiana. They were not in Florida. If they did Florida stuff, it was on Monday. If they did stuff yesterday, probably just came straight back home. And they did Thanksgiving here with their families here. That would make more sense. They may even got on the plane after the Indiana game and came home after that and just had the whole day on Thursday here in Toronto. I think that's the most likely. Now, if somebody has some ties in Indiana and they wanted to do Thanksgiving in Indiana, wait behind and come back today, I don't know. Most likely they all traveled back to Toronto yesterday. None of them should be flying or traveling today. So it could be that some of them did Thanksgiving during the day and then came in the evening back to Toronto last night, or they all just came back and they did Thanksgiving with their families here in Toronto after flying back Wednesday night or Thursday morning. So yeah, but no Florida, and I could not see Scott going back to Florida for yesterday. If he did, I don't like that kind of stuff. He probably did Thanksgiving before that, and that may be part of the reason why they look so bad on against the Magic too. Is he may have been loaded up with some of Grandma's good Jamaican food and some Thanksgiving food, and that may have been part of the reason why Scott didn't look exactly right on Wednesday. Yeah. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying Portland is realizing that they can't trade Malcolm because Scoot is really bad. Yeah, they need Brogdon just because. Yeah. I mean, I knew this guy wasn't ready, and I wasn't anywhere near wanting him. All right, let's see what Fiercey's saying to the piss bucket. Piss bucket, respectfully, we don't want Zach either. Would not bring any value to the Raptors. Timberwolves and Bulls have not won anything with him anyways, aside from a play-in game. Dead. Yeah, I love that. We talked about this a lot recently, actually, and I was kind of into the idea because it does seem like his offense would help us with our offensive woes, but his defense is so lacking. It's like, let's not add him. And even to get him, his salary is so high, we have to give somebody really good, like Siakam, basically, for Zach LaVine. And I'm not willing to do that. So, yeah, the price is too high. The defense is too bad. We're not interested. Forget about whether Zach LaVine's interested in us. We're not interested. How about that? Unless Bobby Masai say they are and they do the deal, then we're interested. But personally, the Raptor Freak family is not interested in Zach LaVine. We already figured this out. Piss Bucket. Yeah, you gotta have a name like that. I'm gonna call you Piss Bucket. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, "Oh yeah, Lex, I remember that Twitch chat with you and Scotty about the photography stint." But from players, and they always have to be on alert because they don't know fans personally. Of course. And it doesn't make any sense for me to be involved with him like that. It was just there was an opportunity to jump on it, and I made a suggestion, and I got rejected, and rightfully so. I don't need to be running around with Scott like that. If I was running around in Scott's entourage right now, I wouldn't be able to do this channel with you guys. I'm sure. I'm sure of it. So in some ways, everything is the right way and way it's supposed to be in a lot of ways. In some ways, I'm not ready to be a part of a young 20-year-old's NBA entourage and run around with him and all this kind of stuff. I'm old. I'd probably get tired. So yeah, I'm not ready to do that. All right, Caddy Pants saying, what can the Kings offer for Pascal? We've thought about this too recently. And on their team, I'm not really that interested. I don't want Sabonis. Sabonis is great. Don't get me wrong, but we don't really need him. And then I think about De'Aaron Fox, and I'm like, no. I mean, there's some things about him that are attractive and nice, but in some ways, also, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know who on the Kings I would want. There's nobody that just kind of strikes me as maybe Kevin Herter. Maybe Kevin Herter would be a good addition because of his shooting and us needing more shooters. That could maybe be somebody we could be interested in. Why are you trying to do deals with us, Caddy Pan? Blackhawk saying, no lie, superfan. That is a little funny. It is real, though. All I would say to Scoot is keep your head up. Yeah, it is whatever. In some ways, I don't think Scoot's a very smart person. Like, seriously, I don't get that he has a lot up here. Let's just put it that way. Shaq Lindsay saying Black Friday sale on Chicago roster, apparently, and it's being led by Caddy Pan. Caddy Pan is saying, hey, the Chicago Bulls have stuff for offer, Black Friday sale. Cool Cat saying, sad to say, I really felt Scoot was overrated as a player. I watched his G League games due to his hype, and he can't shoot at all. He's just fast and heavy, and can his body take the pounding? Yeah, and the way he got thrown out of the game against the 905 last year was ridiculous and unprofessional. And honestly, totally a hype machine. Scoot Henderson, hype machine all along. He's really good for Slam magazines. You can put him in Slam magazine all over the place, but it doesn't mean he's a good NBA player. G saying, remember when fans wanted to trade Pascal for Scoot? Scoot is very athletic, but I told those fans, if his shooting percentage is low in the G League, how will that translate? Also, he's on the smaller side of his position. That's for sure. Shaq Lindsay saying 50% off on Zach and DeMar. Well, that is quite a deal. I really have to think about it. You know what? I'm going to do something real quick. Hang on. We're going to go ahead and do this to get this ready for today. Maybe we'll just put them right here. Oh, look, one guy's head goes above and we can see him. One guy, he's not tall enough. So maybe we need a little prop up for DeMar just so people can see him. No. Getting the hype for the game up right here by putting on some putting their faces in the screen. There's DeMar DeRozan. You can barely see him. You can't kind of see him actually. And then there's Scotty. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. We're right here. Blackhawk saying Shaq Lindsay, laugh out loud. Are you saying Malachi for Scoot? I would do that. We could do Malachi for Scoot. I could try that. That would be okay. Cool Cat saying yes. Pascal does ice treatment after every game too, and I hope Pascal does the oxygen chamber too thing that Kyle does. Yeah, they steal secrets from these guys as they should. It's smart. You might as well steal the trade secrets. Steal them. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying Flynn earned my respect. He's got that chain now. That was nice to see. Yeah. Carlo's laughing about the Kai Jones mention. Yeah, I don't know if he should have been mentioned today. Carlo JS is saying, watch Will Lou's interview. Players know you get the best treatment when you sign here. Players love it here once you're here. That's right. That's right. People love playing in Toronto. It's a great city, great fans, great building, great organization, great front office, great coach, great teammates. What's not to like about playing for the Raptors? Come on now. It's in Canada. Okay, xenophobe. Okay, xenophobe. Oh, the taxes? That's actually bullshit. And you guys actually make money because you play in Canada, you idiots. So it's not the taxes. Oh, it's the weather? Yeah, it is snowing today. But it's probably worse in Chicago. It could be worse in New York. You know, it's not like it's any worse here than it is there. Come on now. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay is saying, what the fuck, Kia? Who cares? Kai? It's Kai, right? Fiercely saying, is it me or the audio bugging? I hope it isn't. It shouldn't be. Sometimes the audio goes a little flaky depending on my connection. Cool Cat saying, Blazers blow up Dame's career on the team over G League alum Scoot for him to not be producing out of the gate. He has not been able to adjust yet to the NBA game. Carlos saying Scoot can't shoot yet. He has to have a decent jumper to unlock his game. Yeah, that may be a while. Cool Cat saying, I've always watched Dennis's games from Hawks, Celtics, and Lakers. Yeah, he's a fun player. Stargate saying Caddy Pan is a troll. It's a kitty litter box. Carlo is saying with a name like that, you have to be a troll. Yeah, it was pretty funny stuff. Fiercely saying we can't delete our comments anymore. My audio is working fine now. Okay, that's all good. I think you can delete your comments still. Cowboy saying later, Lex. Bam, the Rabbit Freaks. Have a great day. Enjoy the game. Have fun at the game, Dana. Everyone have a great, blessed day, night. Let's fucking go. Ta-da Services. That's who cool Cowboy works for. They are for all your property needs, starting as low as $89. Ta-da! They're cleaning services. 647-833-6844. There you go. Ta-da! Cool Cat saying we have to be careful of who we acquire. They have to fit with Scotty and not think that they are better than him and not fall behind him. It's a tough thing. In some ways, she's right. We got to think about how they fit with our main guy, both our main guys. Stargate saying at Carlo, there are quite a few players who didn't want to leave Toronto, but nobody ever talks about those players, only the ones that didn't want to be here. Yeah, we're hearing more and more interviews. People like Matt Bonner, Lou Williams, so many people. CJ Miles talks about how great Toronto is all the time. There's a lot of players that really love Toronto and love their time playing here. Tyler Hansbrough, another person who said something about Toronto recently. Although, it's crazy. You know what he said that pissed me off? He said he never thought the Raptors would ever win because he understands the NBA. And when we won the championship in 2019, he was actually shocked. And he was very happy for the city, our fans, and Toronto and the Raptors. Because honestly, he said he never thought the Raptors would ever win a championship realistically. That's Tyler Hansbrough saying that. Oh my gosh. I hated hearing him say that. Let's see. Carlos saying at Cool Cat, this is what Bobby said. He doesn't want to get other players just to fill some hole and then create new holes in another area. Yeah, we filled a lot of important holes, like the point guard and the center recently. Now we need to get shooters. Now we need a backup point guard. Let's see. Infamous saying, salute freaks. What gave me bad vibes about Scoot was when I watched him in the All-Star game. I was not impressed, but I wish him well. Yeah, I'm not impressed with him at all. Stargate saying, DeMar, Serge, Lou Williams all wanted to stay in Toronto. There's a lot of guys that want to stay in Toronto. I'm sure Terrence Davis wanted to stay too. Carlos saying, yep, definitely. Blackhawk saying, Cool Cat, Dame Scoot situation is why Pascal should stay with the Raptors until he retires. Let Scotty grow organically, no forcing shit. I love that, Blackhawk. I love that, Neil. I'm going to give you a dunk for that one because I think that we have not made any mistake and we don't need to because of that. Let's see. Fiercely saying at Kitty Litter Box, definitely a troll and wants us to part ways with Pascal, giving weird trade suggestions. Fuck out of here. Dana's saying, is Litter Box still in the chat? It's kind of fun. I kind of like having a troll. Y'all know I like having a troll. It's fun. I get to make funny, witty insults. Carlos saying, at least a young Westbrook had a jumper, but Scoot coming in flat. Yeah, that comparison's interesting. They try and compare Scoot to Westbrook, and I can see it. The body type's similar. But there are some things that Westbrook had coming in that Scoot does not have. Dana's saying, I just want to say litter box. Yeah. Yeah, why not? Why would you have the Caddy Pan sounds like a name for a litter box. Oh, go use your Caddy Pan, Twinkles, my cat. Or go use the toilet. I trained my cat to use the toilet. You can lift the seat even. Let's see. Paul B saying, need revenge on the refs and tighter performance tonight versus the Bulls. Yeah. Paul B saying, we need to reach 500 and continue climbing. I'm with that. We're going to change the submarine into a plane. Carlos saying, all I want for Christmas is consistency for our team. I want our core here forever. Pascal, OG, Scotty forever. I love that, Carlo. I like your birthday or your Christmas wish. Not for two front teeth. Infamous is saying litter box is probably Penseri burn account. Okay, could be. That's interesting. Country Kong saying Lex trading Malachi for Scoot is unfair. According to advanced stats, Flynn is much better player right now. Portland should at least include Shaden Sharp or a draft pick to make it even. I mean, you know what? We can't let them rip us off. We definitely need to get Scoot Henderson and Shaden Sharp for Malachi Flynn. Straight up. The contracts work because they're in smaller contracts because they're young players. Call up Bobby. I think Country Kong's got this figured out. We got it figured out. That's the deal to make right there. Cool Cat saying, Carlo, yep. I truly feel Pascal, OG, Scotty is our chip trio. Nope, Scott. Nope, Lex. Not even I am willing to trade Flynn for Scoot. Whoa. At least Flynn does not get into any issues. Okay, I see that. That's a good point. Stargate saying this whole weather excuse is nonsense. Chicago, Minneapolis, Boston, Indianapolis are all cold, snowy cities as well. That's right. And in some ways, they want to sully us with living in igloos and having polar bears as pets and fighting the ravages of the blizzards for 365 days a year. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Superfan saying happy birthday to CJ's Miles' daughter, Ava, Canadian citizen. Okay, that's really a deep cut on the birthdays. Shaq Lindsay saying you should get the chain next. I love your dedication and commitment to this podcast. Thank you for keeping it real. Thank you, Shaq Lindsay. I appreciate that. You know, I listen, I got an award from you guys this summer for my diligence on this channel, and I appreciate it. I really appreciate y'all giving me YouTube award for doing this stream, man. And props to Country Kong from Blackhawk. I like that. All right, let me get into the next part of the show, the marquee main event matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Scotiabank Arena here in beautiful downtown Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Tonight we have a matchup. This is called a GOAT impression matchup. It's going to be between two players for the right to be the GROAT. That's right, the greatest raptor of all time. Today in this corner, the visitor, a former Raptor player, one of the greatest Raptors of all time, in the top 5 of all time, from Compton, California, DeMar DeRozan. And today, the challenger to take a GROAT title away from, well, not away, but to maybe surpass him in the GROAT rankings on the Toronto Raptors, NBA champion from Cameroon, Pascal Siakam. It's a GROAT showdown between DeRozan and Siakam. In some ways, we need to see Siakam take over the game like DeRozan would and show that he is the man, that he is Siakam, and he is him tonight in a head-to-head battle between DeRozan and Pascal. Who can be the man on the court, making things happen for their team, being the most dominant alpha dog on the court? Who's it going to be? Who is going to be the greatest Raptor of tonight? That's right. Not of all time, of tonight. The GROAT tonight. Who will it be? DeRozan, Siakam, or could it be this guy right here? It could be this guy too. We'll have to find out tonight. Main event marquee matchup. That's right, baby. All right, we'll do the big finish here. Once again, our injuries are as such. Thaddeus Young still questionable tonight for his illness. Precious questionable for his knee. Koloko out still. Javon Freeman Liberty listed also. On the Bulls side, we've got Zach LaVine questionable to play. It is his foot. Our referees for tonight are Kevin Scott, Natalie Sago, and Evan Scott. Kevin Scott and Evan Scott both favor the Raptors. Meanwhile, Natalie Sago favors the Chicago Bulls. All right, y'all. It's right at 2 hours, so I'm going to finish up right now. Fiercely saying, I saw the Josh Giddey drama. Apparently, legal consenting age is 16 in that state, so he may be off the hook. You know, I was thinking about this too also. Listen, Josh Giddey's only 21, and if this young lady is only 18 or something like that, it's not that big of a deal. People are making more a big deal out of it. In fact, when I looked at the stuff about it and investigated last night, it seems like this is haters that hate the Thunder trying to come at them and give them a dumpster fire. That there really isn't a whole lot to this. In some ways, listen, this is true. In Oklahoma, they have very different consent rules in different states. And I would bet that Oklahoma may have a lower age. Not that it's right or not, but in some ways, I feel like people get hung up about an age. Sometimes people can be a certain age and they are more mature. And I'm not talking about their body, I'm talking about their mind and the way they carry themselves. Young people can be very mature at the age of 16 or 17. Some people just come up and they're mature people, old souls. So in some ways, I don't get this. In some ways, it's a non-story. I get the dumpster fire. In some ways, it bugs. It doesn't bug me what he did because honestly, their age is not that far off from each other. If he's 21 and she's 18, it's not that I'm condoning having underage sex with people. It's just that it's not as bad as people want to make it look. Because look, he's 21 and she's 18. If you do the whole rule about who's too old for people, you got to think, okay, 21, that's 10 and a half plus 7 years, because that's how you do it. You're supposed to do half the age plus 7, and then you can be in the age bracket of who is proper for you to date. Half of it is 10 and a half plus 7, that's 17 and a half years old. So if that girl's 18, in some ways, he's not breaking the rule of like dating somebody who's too young for him. That's the way you're supposed to gauge it. So if you ever wonder that, like me, instance, I'm 48. So if I have my age is 24, you add 7 to that, that means I shouldn't be dating anyone younger than 31. Is basically that if you follow that rule. You don't have to follow that rule either. It's kind of bullshit. But yeah, I looked into this. That girl was not traumatized or upset about this at all. In fact, she's the one who was bragging about it on Instagram that she just fucked Josh Giddey. And it's like, wow, it's like, seriously. Some ways people want to use the legality of laws sometimes to incarcerate people in situations that common sense would tell you this is stupid. Why are you doing this? There's no reason to do this. I get it. I get it. Consent is important, especially with underage people. And I'm not trying to poo-poo this issue, but there's gray areas. And this area seems like it's realistically actually fine. It's like whatever. It's so dumb. It is so dumb. Yeah. All right. Let me look at this some more, and we'll finish up. I guess we're going a little overtime just because of the brought up of Josh Giddey, and I did want to talk about this, so I'm glad you did. Stargate saying it fiercely. Unfortunately, the damage may have already been done. The court of public perception may have damaged his image forever. We shall see. Yeah, either way, I don't care. He's not a Raptor. I'm not doing damage control for him on this. I'm not Thunder freak. In some ways, I don't give a shit. In some ways, I'm kind of a hater towards the Thunder, partly because of Chet, but because I love SGA. It's tough because I have mixed emotions. So in some ways, Giddey, I don't care. Whatever happens with Giddey, whatever. Who cares? As far as I personally feel about it, I don't know if he'll get saddled with this too long. There's a lot of people that get saddled with stupid shit and it doesn't go anywhere. You know, there's a lot of people who have had scandals and they've gotten past them. And I don't think this is that big a deal. It's just really fresh right now. Let's see. Fiercely saying, absolutely, Stargate. We'll see. We'll see how long it goes. Just like you said, we'll see. Carlos saying it was 100% jailbait. The girl looked old enough to pass as 18. Yeah, she looked old enough. She didn't look like a little child. She looked old enough. I don't even know how old she was. Let's see. Carlos saying, Stargate saying, I heard she was 15 at the time and she's 18 now. Well, that doesn't make any sense. That would mean that he did this in his rookie year. And that would have meant that he was like, he could have been 18 at the time and she could have been 15. See, it's such a weird area, the teen years with consent and things like this. I don't know. If this is old news and they're bringing it up now, that's another red flag. Like, why the fuck would they bring it up all of a sudden now? Because the Thunder are starting to get some success, maybe. I don't know. I thought this just happened. Why would they bring something up from like 3 years ago? They would have brought it up way back then instead. I don't know. There's something fishy about that. Cool Cat saying some fan bases don't realize Pascal has no issue number 2 to Scotty. It is known Scotty's signing is a franchise player. Scotty has the most hardworking awarded Raptor to mirror professionalism and ethics. That's right. Siakam's a great teacher for Scotty, and Scotty knows this, and he appreciates him. Yeah, Carlos saying, ouch, 15. Well, see, that's speculation. I don't even know if that's true. I don't know. In some ways, I don't give a shit about the Giddey thing. Whatever happens with it, so be it. I have no horse in this race. I don't give a shit if he's going to ruin his career. If he does, so what? If he doesn't and everything's fine, I don't care either way. Let's see. Carlos saying we've never seen a player progress exponentially like Pascal in the modern era. This is very true. In some ways, Fred and Pascal's stories need to be celebrated more because they are truly NBA success stories on the highest level. Cool Cat saying, I think Scotty's going to have a monster game tonight. I hope so. Prove some shit against them. And most saying, W Stream Lex all around. Keep at it as always. Good times, go Raptors. That's right, Monique. You going to the game tonight? I hope we win tonight. Bring the good vibes if you are. Infamous saying, let's not do this. She was involved with her. He was involved with her before she turned 16. Okay, well, I don't know the facts. All I'm saying is that I thought it was like a 21-year-old with an 18-year-old. If y'all are telling me that he was with a 16-year-old, that's different. That is different. That's definitely different. Blackhawk saying Pascal and Scotty became the dynamic duo. I love that. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And join the channel if you feel like being a member also. I appreciate y'all. Let's beat the Bulls. Once again, show up properly. Show up properly with the right energy, the right attitude. Come out as professionals. Get easy scores earlier. Find each other earlier. Look for the best opportunities to score, the high percentage shots. Look for your teammates when they're open and pass it to them. And have the trust in them that they're going to nail those open shots and make those shots go in and help the Raptors win today. Yeah, this is a big, important game, Raptors. And I want y'all to get your first ever in-season tournament game win. And I also want you to exercise some of these demons that we've had while we've been playing DeRozan and the Bulls recently. We need get back. Go get it tonight. Go out there with that mentality like Malachi Flynn did in the last game. I want to see it from all y'all. All right, y'all. I appreciate and love all y'all. Tomorrow we'll react to the game tonight. Hopefully a big time victory for the Raptors over the Bulls in the Scotiabank Arena tonight. Everybody go in the game, get loud. Remember your defense chants every time the Bulls have the ball, and just have a good time. And TGIF, hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Let's make it start right, Raptors, by getting this win tonight. All right, y'all. Let's go Raptors! Woo!